You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to the great city of Memphis, Tennessee, and the site of one of America's longest-running college bowl games. In fact, the site of Bear Bryant's last victory as head coach at Alabama. It's been a long time since the Jayhawk fans had a chance to go bowling. It's their first since '08, and they are loving it. The Razorbacks, well, they wanted more victories in 2022, but a winning record is on the line for both schools here today. We welcome you to the 64th AutoZone Liberty Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Kansas and Arkansas on a mild and comfortable evening here in Memphis. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We say happy holidays to you. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner is the coach, Dan Mullen, and Taylor McGregor joining us in just a couple of moments. Both teams taking the field here in Memphis. Coach, great to see you.
Yeah.
Wonderful to be working with it. And you've been in this situation before that Arkansas is in right now. We've talked about Kansas, 6-6, great start for them. They're delighted to be here, 14 years in between bowls. For Arkansas, they've lost a lot of players through the portal, 24 different players, either there or to the NFL draft. They're in a very different mindset coming into this game.
Yeah, and it's a tricky situation for them. The Arkansas team that came in the season with so many expectations, ranked in the top 20, ranked as high as number 10. This is a different team. It's not this past season's team with all the opt-outs, some injuries, guys heading off to the NFL and in the transfer portal. And it's not really next year's team either. They're kind of in flux right now. But what we do have from Arkansas is their star players are here and they're playing today. And it starts with KJ Jefferson, the quarterback, and Rocket Sanders, the running back for the Arkansas Razorbacks. They're electric players. KJ Jefferson got 6'3", 240 pounds, beat you with his arms, beat you with his legs. Exciting player all over the field. Rocket Sanders, second in the SEC in rushing, has that home run speed, but also the physicality to run the ball between the tackles. So even with all of the opt-outs and kind of the different feel for the Arkansas team, the star players are playing here tonight for the Razorbacks.
Well, Kansas has kept about all of their star players, including the #1 quarterback, Jalen Daniels, the #1 running back, that's Devin Neal. And for more, let's bring in Taylor McGregor.
Well, Dave, to understand what this means to Kansas, you have to remember that just over a year and a half ago, Kansas had just fired Les Miles, and they were searching for their new head coach. Athletic Director Travis Goff sent out a survey to football players asking them what they desired in their next head coach. The #1 answer was longevity. They wanted a coach who would stick around. Well, eventually Lance Leipold was hired. Fast forward to now, they're playing in their first bowl game since 2008, and this will also be the first bowl game that Leipold coaches in since signing his extension to stay in Lawrence through 2029. Players told me that the #1 focus is to get a win for coach because of his commitment to them.
They've got a lot of positive momentum, the Jayhawks do. Their second Liberty Bowl appearance, they lost NC State way back in 1973. Absolutely gorgeous evening here. Temperatures have been in the 50s all day. There's a nasty cold snap here that caused all sort of breaks in water mains throughout Memphis. That's been a huge story here. But right now it's about football, and it's about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which is underway. And Arkansas will take it right there. A.J. Green on the kickoff. Let's bring out KJ Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback, who says he will be back next year. 6'3", 240. Coach, he missed a couple of games, but he's one of 2 SEC quarterbacks with 20 touchdown passes, 7 rushing touchdowns. Heisman finalist Stetson Bennett of Georgia was the other one.
Yeah, and KJ's a physical player, and he may have been in that discussion. I think he will be next year, which is really exciting. And I think we're going to see Arkansas's really got to come out with some of their receivers. They're down there in the receivers. They're going to come out, try to establish the run, but don't be shocked if they take a deep shot early here just to set the tempo.
So immediately, the very talented running back, Rocket Sanders at 6'2", 225, taken down by Taiwan Berryhill as he picks up 2. Rushed for 1,426 yards. Coach, they use him a ton, 219 carries.
Yeah, he's their go-to guy. He's their playmaker of the offense.
On second down, a short pass into the flats. And that one complete to Sanders, who gets the first couple of touches and a 3-yard pickup.
And a great job there of the Kansas defense. Not much going on, but what they did is they're playing a zone coverage. They passed it off in the play action, and this is where you want to be. You want to force Arkansas into third down and long situations early in the game.
Razorbacks exceptionally good when they get it going running the football. Rushing for over 200 yards 8 times this season. He'll air that one out, get it across the 40-yard line. On the strike there to Harper Cole. And we'll pick up a first down.
Yeah, and a good job here. They get the little chips with the empty look of getting everybody released, and Harper Cole sits down in the middle of zone coverage right there to get the first.
Little flip forward and going to gain another. Dubinian with the carry, and he'll pick up 8 yards.
Unique little formation there on the shuffle pass right there with the fake on the run. That's a triple option play by the quarterback. He has a chance to hand it off, run it, or shovel it underneath.
Well, Arkansas going at warp speed here early on. Jefferson going to keep it. He's to the 40-yard line, dipping that shoulder down. Another big gain and a first for the Razorbacks. A 16-yard gain. DJ Burrows, the strong safety, with the tackle.
Again, triple option. You see Raheem Sanders there. The attention's on him, but great job. KJ Jefferson gets the pull read, takes it outside, fakes the pitch off the pitch key, turns it up, gets some great yardage.
Well, he could do that, as we mentioned, the 7 rushing touchdowns. He had 5 touchdown passes against BYU. He has a very strong arm when he wants to show that. Going to hand it off here, trying to bounce to the outside. Once again, it'll be Sanders.
This is the type of drive Arkansas wants to start this game. They're going to play with tempo, but you're still going to see they're going to want to control tempo. Even though they're going fast to control tempo, they want to control the line of scrimmage and be able to run the ball and establish the run game.
Rocket had a huge game against BYU, 175. He could really bust it loose. Once again, the quarterback to keep it. Jefferson diving down, and we'll pick up 4 yards on that carry. Malcolm Lee got him in the end. Sam Pittman, the head coach for Arkansas. Lots of country charm for the 61-year-old.
Well, and teams take the personality of their head coach. Sam Pittman, a great offensive line coach. You see this team with that tough, rugged attitude that he brings to the team. And they play with that personality that Sam Pittman has.
Line coach at Georgia, Tennessee, Carolina, Kansas, too, back in 2001. So second down and 7. So far, an excellent opening drive here for Arkansas. Sanders finding a hole, and he'll dive down inside the 20-yard line. Burrows again with another stop. He'll gain 3.
Great open field tackle right there. And again, all the different zone reads, another type of just different of read option football. Quarterback can keep it on a run or hand it off in the perimeter to the outside, and you get people one-on-one, and a great tackle in the open field by Burrows one-on-one.
9th play of the opening drive here. A.J. Green now the running back. Jefferson, who says he will be back next year, back in the pocket. A little bit of time there. Going into the end zone. It's going to be broken up. Intended for Green. And busted up by Kansas.
And Kansas brought the pressure on the third down. They've been playing very conservative zone coverage right now, but they brought the pressure on this look. And you'll see right here, Bryce Stevens, number 14, coming wide open underneath. And KJ missed him on the throw right there, taking the one-on-one shot down the sideline.
And Hayden Hatcher busting that up. So a 37-yard field goal attempt here. Damn little and a whistle. That one is going to be good. Kansas giving up the 3 quickly. Arkansas on the opening drive ahead 3-0. Boy, did Arkansas start the season hot as they went out 3-0. They beat top 25 Cincinnati, beat a very good South Carolina team. Then they would lose 3 in a row after getting to number 10 in the ranking. They had a crushing loss to Texas A&M on a goal line fumble and a touchdown.
Yeah, and that was a kind of a fluke play that really turned their whole season around. They were rolling in that game. They end up losing to Texas A&M and end up losing 3 in a row, losing to Alabama and then Mississippi State after that. Turned it around and got going again, and then losing 3 of their last 4 by a total of 7 points. Or 9 points, I'm sorry. And, that's a tough team. They're a very talented football team, though.
They have a key man down on the line as well. Tykese Cropper just went down a moment ago. We'll check on that in just a second. Meanwhile, Jalen Daniels, the Kansas quarterback, #1 guy on one of the most improved offenses in the country. Coach, they're about 100 yards better per game than a year ago.
And he's an exciting guy. When they were 5-0, he got injured in their 6th game of the season. And, I mean, he was putting up numbers all over the place. One of the most exciting players in the country, and can't wait to see him out here today.
Probably see both quarterbacks, Jason Bean as well today. Handoff here to Devin Neal, the featured back, and a nice gain for 7. He's also an outfielder on the Kansas baseball team. He's an outfielder on Jayhawks team. And there's Crawford going out. We just mentioned him a moment ago. Crawford at 6'5", 325 pounds. Like they could afford to have more injuries and more departures.
Yeah, with Bo Lemmer moving over to center, he stepped into the starting role today at the right guard spot. So we'll see how what they do with the shifting around of the O-line.
2nd down 3 for the Jayhawks. Daniels wants to go airborne, and he's got a receiver down on that sideline, and scampering out of bounds is Luke Grimm, the junior out of Raymore, Missouri, chased out by Quincy McAdoo, but a 24-yard gain.
And this is where, when you talk about an RPO game, a run-pass option, he has the opportunity to hand the ball off the run play or throw the quick out cut. You see both DBs bail out with the outside guy. A little miscommunication there in the secondary. Jalen Daniels, great read right there, takes the little quick out to the flat.
Lawrence Arnold, the top receiver, 36 catches this year, along with Grimm. They're basically 1 and 1A for the Jayhawks. And the flat, going to go for Arnold again. He gets a lot of action out there. 36 catches, 4 touchdowns this season. He picks up 4 yards there.
Yeah, good job, the officials. See the officials jumping in there, especially bowl games early. Everybody hadn't played in a little while. Been a little antsy right there. You get a guy running into the sidelines. Jeff, the officials stepping in, making sure everybody stays calm. Just play the game of football and have some fun out here.
It's been a month. I know you guys love the practice time, but then everyone
you start hitting each other too much. You're like, I'm going to hit somebody else.
Yeah, here we go. Hit somebody else. Neal in the backfield. 2nd down and 6. The quarterback, Daniels, going to try and get to the 1st down. And diving forward, you can really hear the roar from the crowd. But a Kansas faithful, he picks up 10 there and a 1st down.
Yeah, and it's a great job. It's a triple option play. Again, he gets the pull read off the defensive end. They have guys out there, but his speed is too much. He's able to outrun the guy that has the quarterback, the defender that has the quarterback, and turn the corner and make a positive play out of something that really wasn't there. And that's what makes him such a special player.
Arkansas fans travel really well. Kansas fans are here in great numbers in the city of Memphis as well. And Thomas, the back. Hole opened up and then closed pretty fast. He jumped to his feet, but already down. And stopped by Chris Paul, freshman All-American. Chris Paul, and they think the world of him and a great future for that young man.
Absolutely, and he has big shoes to fill, stepping in for Drew Sanders today, who's off to the NFL, one of the top-rated inside linebacker in this year's NFL draft. And you know what? It's great, though, for the Arkansas fans to come out and say, hey, the future's still bright. We lost a great player, but we got another great one stepping in that role.
6'1", 230. And a tremendous future. Daniels, yep, chased. He's going to throw it. He's got a man wide open, and for the touchdown into the end zone, Kai Thomas from 29 yards. And Kansas with the 1st touchdown here in the Liberty Bowl. Daniels turning around and finding a wide open receiver.
And if you look at the motion, draws eyes, the fake, the naked rollout, and the Arkansas defense completely loses Kai Thomas on the wheel route going out the back door. And Rock Chalk Jayhawk off to a great start right here.
So they will take a 7-0 lead here in the 1st. 7-3 lead over Arkansas. Kansas already getting the offense in gear. Daniels on top of his game, and 7 up there for the Jayhawks.
Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And Pennzoil Platinum helps extend engine life and protects for up to 15 years or 500,000 miles, whichever comes first. Guaranteed.
Exciting drive there for the Jayhawks. They lead it 7-3 over the Razorbacks. We saw fans from both teams coming out to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl parade and a pep rally. And man, there have been some great players in this game over the years. Names like Davis, Manning, Flutie, Jackson, Prescott, you know very well.
Yeah, we had a fun night here together.
You sure did as we flash back. This is 2013, the Liberty Bowl.
And it's really a coming out party for Dak that night. It was coming off a season we got bowl eligible. That led us into the next year where we started the season on a great undefeated streak and got to #1 in the country, and Dak became a household name.
44-7 over Rice. How cold was it, by the way?
It was chilly that night, but I'll tell you what, no matter how cold it is, a Gatorade bath feels fantastic.
A.J. Green to take it inside the 5. Takes a pretty good pop. Never got to the 20-yard line. Trying to make that return, a 16-yard effort, and taken down by Torrey Lachlan. Let's talk about Jefferson a little bit and why he's so talented.
Yeah, and if you see what KJ can do, he's so physical, he's so strong. You think everybody's got him. You look at all the defensive linemen from Duke got him wrapped up. No, they don't. He's out. I'm sorry, BYU. He's out. But if you see his eyes are down the field still, it's not just his ability to be physical and break tackles, it's keep his eyes down the field. So you got to stay in coverage. When you do, here comes a stiff arm, broken tackle, 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles. It's going to drag you into the end zone. His ability and his size to throw and run is what makes him a special player.
A pass tipped there by Marvin Grant, the strong safety. The other thing about Jefferson is he rarely makes a mistake. He's only been intercepted 4 times. I know there's a lot of talk about, well, he doesn't really have confidence in the intermediate pass quite yet. He's still building his way to that, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
But he grew a lot this year from the year before in the passing game. We know he can run. You see him grow in the passing game. You see right here, I mean, the physicality of his ability to run between the tackles makes a difference. And what's really exciting for people, and I even think for everybody in this game, both quarterbacks will be on early Heisman lists going into next season.
6-yard pickup there. Jefferson, by the way, 8th in school history in passing yards, 7th in touchdown passes with 46. So he can beat you with the long ball in a big way. 3rd down coming up here. Sun beginning to set in Memphis. Empty backfield. That's in time. It's going to be popped up on a deflection and nearly intercepted. Jayhawks thought they should have had a pick there.
And he had Bryce Stevens open again over the middle. If he could have gotten a little bit more air on this ball. He was looking for Bryce Stevens, and he had broken open across the field. Would have been an explosive play. But the ball got tipped. Great job by the defensive line to get the hands up when they see him throwing the football right there. Eddie Wilson at 6'4", getting those hands up to tip that ball away.
So Fletcher back at the 10-yard line to punt. Burrow standing around the 35-yard line. And a fair catch. So that's where the drive will begin here for the Jayhawks. They look really good on the first one. That a 37-yard kick. As we check out the Bowl Challenge Cup standings, brought to you by Progressive. So ACC, a lot of people have said a lot of things about the ACC, but they're off to a really nice start.
They haven't a lot of times at this because there's not as many crossover games sometimes throughout the season. And you realize at the end of the year, like, wow, maybe their conference was a little better than we thought at the end of the whole season.
Duke looked pretty good today.
Oh, yeah.
With the offense rolling. Devin Neal in the backfield for Daniels. And it's on the deck. It's loose and a big pile up on the fumble. Kansas saying they got it. A couple of Arkansas players suggesting they had the football. And Kansas will keep it.
That's something you haven't seen much from Kansas. They've been really good protecting the ball, winning the turnover battle throughout the year, playing their +4 turnover ratio on the year, so you haven't seen them make those mistakes throughout this season.
It's an offense that can really move the ball. 5th best in the country in yards per play, 7 per play. It's been very tough to stop on 3rd down, 2nd down and long here. Neal, they wanted him here on the near sideline. And covered by Jordan Crook, the linebacker.
Yeah, and these are situations. I think both teams, you know, when you're teams that are run, play action teams, and you rely on that, You don't want to be in third and long situations. But this is where Jalen Daniels really can step up and show the type of quarterback he is. We see what he can do in the option game and the play action game. But these situations right now where he has to drop back and make a play with his arm to try to create the first down for the team is where you see what type of quarterback he really is.
He'll step up, looking downfield. Daniels gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Over the middle for Skinner. Quentin Skinner, one of his favorite wide receivers. In fact, his roommates, but incomplete.
Yeah, and he just does a great job. If you see him, one of the things that you want to look at as a quarterback, his ability as keeping his eyes downfield. As he scrambles, his eyes are downfield the whole time. Just a little bit behind Skinner there with the ball. I think he's expecting Skinner really to settle down in that zone area, in an open area, to put the ball on him. But it's a huge stop for Arkansas.
As he gets the punt away, going to let that one drop. Kansas looks to cover, continues to roll backward, and Kansas says they've come up with a football.
What a smart play. You look at Kansas right there. Arkansas players didn't get away from the ball. That ball's on the ground. You got to make a Peter call to get away from the ball. The Arkansas player was standing there. It looks like Kansas pushed them into the ball, which is legal, and it would create a fumble. Looks like they're saying that maybe Kansas touched the ball first at this.
Take a look.
But Arkansas players got to get away from the ball. But great job, trying to push him in, and it does look like the Kansas player touched the ball first.
AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And Pennzoil Platinum helps extend engine life and protects for up to 15 years or 500,000 miles, whichever comes first. Guaranteed.
Arkansas getting bit by the injury bug early. Rocket Sanders taken to the locker room just moments ago after getting rolled up on. He came off of the field after his last offensive series. I saw him holding his left quad, went into the tent momentarily, and then they just escorted him to the locker room. I will keep you posted when I know more, guys.
Again, last thing in the world they could take right now is a key injury like their #1 running back. So A.J. Green takes over, and he's going to try and bounce outside to the 40-yard line.
And it's not just the loss of your premier playmaker. That takes a huge toll on the team as a whole and a letdown. But it's also your depth. We talked to Arkansas, wanted to run some 2 tailback sets now. And it's going to have to change some of the personnel and what they're doing offensively.
Another empty look here for K.J. Jefferson. Going to throw long. He has a very strong arm. Has a man wide open and going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. Matt Landers going all the way for the 8th time this season. No flags on the play. 59 yards on that strike.
And if you look at this, a great job. He ran a little double move off the line, got the DB, falls down. He's one-on-one, and that's what they're trying to do. When they are losing their depth at receiver with a couple receivers not playing in this game, their top go-to guy right now is Matt Landers at 6'5", and they said they're going to move him around at different spots to try to create advantageous matchups for him out there on the field. They certainly got him one-on-one. He makes the DB miss, and a great job by K.J. Jefferson to drop the pass into a wide open receiver.
Yeah, dangerous on that long ball. Then our ESPN Bowl triple header wraps up tonight with the TaxAct Texas Bowl. Texas Tech taking on Ole Miss in Houston. We'll get you that one once we wrap up here in Memphis on a gorgeous night. Some early scoring in this one.
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins playing in this one, and you know, we just saw Raheem Sanders leave the field for us. He was the second leading rusher right behind Quinshon Judkins, an exciting freshman out of Ole Miss. Great player. Came out of kind of nowhere this year for them.
Really?
And exploded onto the scene to lead the SEC in rushing. And I think both of them were trying to get some stats in this final game to hold that title.
Their numbers just about dead even. Arkansas jumping in front again, 10-7. You wonder if this is the kind of game we're going to have here at the 64th AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, back and forth.
I think so. You know, you expect both offenses are explosive. The defenses have not been high points. And, well, I mean, there's a great...
Once again, the ball getting down, a fumble, and Arkansas has recovered. Arkansas has recovered at the 15-yard line.
You see, that's the second mistake, second time Kansas has put the ball down on the ground today. There is a little breeze out there today. There's some wind, and you saw that ball hold up. At the very end, the ball holds up into the air. Returner's trying to fair catch it right here, but it holds up on him a little bit, and Sevion Morris can't get underneath it. The fumble, the turnover, and all the momentum right now on Arkansas' side.
Harper Cole, the sophomore from Aurora, Illinois, scooping that up. And suddenly Arkansas again is right on the doorstep of the Jayhawks here on the 17-yard line officially. And even without Rocket Sanders, they're in great field position trying to punch in another one. With about 6 minutes to go here in the first. Little lob toward the end zone, touchdown. You talk about a fast strike. From 17 yards, Washington with the catch. And in a blink of an eye, they're right back in the end zone.
Yes, sir. And a great play call here by Kendall Briles. They bring the receiver, Stevens in motion, fake a screen to the left, fake a screen out to the right, and they sneak him right down the middle of the field for the touchdown.
Ty Washington with the grab. Boy, Arkansas does not take a lot of time to find that end zone. And now for the point after Cam Little. And it is good. 17-7 Arkansas after the recovery of the fumble. Time for tonight's clutch delivery, brought to you by Chipotle.
And right here, you're going to see they're going to start with motion, and you have the formation, two receivers into the boundary to kind of set the passing strength into the short side of the field. The motion, you see the linebackers trying to communicate where we're going, fake a screen left, fake a screen right, and there goes the tight end right down the middle of the field. They lose him. Here he is, blocking, releases late down the middle of the field. Great play call, gets them caught in a quarters coverage. Both safeties split. Tight end goes right down the middle. Great play design and call as a red zone call by Kendall Briles right there. Kendall's done such a great job to me this year as an offensive coordinator. If you've watched him through the years in the system, adapting his system to the players that he has. And I think Kendall's done an amazing job this year of adapting their system around the players he has, and even being shorthanded. You're seeing that tonight. The adjustments he's having to make around the talent and the players they have on the field to put them in position to be successful.
That's a great point. Briles has lost his top receiver, his center, his #1 tight end. Tonight, his #1 running back. And yet it took 8 seconds of playing time between touchdowns. It'll come out to the 25. And incidentally, 3 more bowls are coming your way tomorrow on ESPN and the app. It starts at 2 Eastern. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium between Syracuse and Minnesota. Then Oklahoma takes on #13 FSU in the Cheez-It Bowl. And at 9 Eastern time, #20 Texas squaring off against #12 Washington in the Valero Alamo Bowl.
And how about that Washington quarterback? Great game. I'm excited for this one. Well, Sark after dark, coaching at both schools, Steve Sarkisian. But really, Michael Penix Jr., the star, led the nation in passing yards this year. If you haven't seen him, they put up yards in a hurry, and he is a big-time quarterback.
And his low pressure, boy, he took a pop when he released that one incomplete. Took a pretty darn good hit. The pressure there by Chris Paul. Already you're seeing why they love him so much. He only made 1 start this year, but made a huge impact when he was in there.
Well, he has got to play. You know, it hasn't been that he hasn't been on the field and hasn't played. He's played, has over 50 tackles on the season. And so that experience coming in now, the thing is he's gone from that supporting actor role into that lead actor role right now. And let's see. I know as a player, he's excited to be in that position.
Looks like he likes the role very much. 2nd down and 10. Daniels now looking for the Jayhawks to get rolling again offensively. He'll go airborne again, and that'll be caught by Arnold. Arnold trying to spin away and does. Stays on his feet. before they finally push him out after a 34-yard gain.
And one thing that's interesting, what you're seeing right now with Michael Shearer, who's calling the new D coordinator for this game for Arkansas with Barry Odom leaving for UNLV. He's going to make some adjustment. We've seen Arkansas play that 3-down nickel dime package all year. You're going to see them. They're playing a lot more 4-down, a little bit more quarters look, a different look than they've seen. So we'll see how Kansas adjusts to that.
Yeah, it was always going to be interesting to see what changes he might make if he could make a bunch of those anyway. And they're going to continue to move the sticks here. Laughlin on the first down.
And they went quick huddle right there. They broke it, put 4 receivers into the short side of the field. Again, trying to create a numbers advantage off the Arkansas defense.
Michael Shearer there, the interim defensive coordinator. You get your hands on the controls. You didn't expect that when the season got underway.
No, and it's fun, it's exciting. He's a young and up-and-coming coach, and his first opportunity to call it here today. But they're playing for a little different style than they've played all year, and we're going to see Kansas got to make some adjustments to that style.
First down 10 for Daniels. Daniels rifles. That one's going to be picked off, intercepted by Arkansas. That's McAdoo. Still on his feet, finally dragged down. And the pick for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I think Daniels kind of forced that one in there a little bit. You know, running a crossing, play action crossing route. Great coverage right there by the Arkansas defense. And he was a little bit late with the throw. You see off the play action, here's the fake. Here comes the crossing route across the field. There's really good coverage. McAdoo just steps in front of it, beats him to the ball. Great job, great defensive play, great coverage. And really, that's one that Jalen Daniels is going to learn. It's not there, throw it away. It's okay to play 2nd and 10. Throw it away. He wants to make plays. He's trying to carry the team and put him in position to win games. But there's times to just sit there and say, there's nothing here. I'm going to throw it away and play the next play.
Quincy McAdoo, his 2nd pick of the season. Arkansas leading 17-7. And they get it back, but can't move it very far. Dubinion trying to make a move there, but Lonnie Phelps was all over him. He's the sack leader for Kansas as well. 7 this year, the most for a Kansas player since 2016, since current Dallas Cowboy Armstrong.
He's their leader up front. He's the guy they're going to need to make some plays here defensively. They need some big plays defensively. He's the guy they're going to count on.
Jefferson dumps it off short. Dubinion's been very active in the offense here, certainly since Sanders stepped aside. And that reception picks up 8.
It doesn't seem like a big play, but those are big plays, because what it does now, when you get down into a 3rd down and 7 situation, 3rd down 6, 3rd down and 7 situations, KJ Jefferson can still beat you with his legs, and that's what makes him so dangerous. You have to respect his ability to run in these 3rd down situations.
Looking downfield, fires that one and complete, and for a big gain and a first down, complete to Jaden Wilson, the 6'3" freshman taken down by Rich Miller, one of the captains for Kansas, but a 30-yard pickup.
And again, a lot of eyes right now on KJ, trying to keep him in the pocket. Eyes on him. Great job on the crossing route. Great patience by KJ, leading them out against zone defense.
Jefferson with the handoff again. Dubinion trying to get free, but stopped by Lorenzo McCaskill, the linebacker. Just a 3-yard gain there. And Sanders is back on the sideline. A great sign there. The Rocket has returned, and he's getting on the bike here for Arkansas.
Well, that'll be huge just to get him back. And not just his talent on the field, but it's an uplifting for everybody on the field to see your star back on the field.
Quarterback once again will keep it. Jefferson trying to make a spin move around the 30. And stopped by Bryant, but will pick up a first.
It's a big drive here for Kansas defense right now. You know, they want to get into this. They've given up yards, and they've given up yards all year. But in this situation, bend but don't break. Hold them at best to a field goal attempt, or try to create a big turnover here in the red zone.
As you said on that first drive, to hold them to just a field goal was very, very big on the Jayhawks sideline. At least at that point early in the contest, Dubinion another run, and will gain 4.
And Kansas plays, they're very base in their defense play, very sound. 4 down, they play a lot of quarters coverage on the back end. And you'll see here, they might have to start pressuring a little bit to create explosive plays. They brought the blitz. The nickel came off the edge right there to try to create some plays to disrupt the flow of this Arkansas offense.
Isaiah Satania with a catch there. And just 2 yards. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl here in Memphis. Dan Mullen, Dave O'Brien, Taylor McGregor with you. 3rd down and 4. A.J. Green now the back.
Here comes the pressure.
He escapes that. On the move, looking to grab a block and scoots out of bounds. And that'll be a gain of 16 yards.
That's one of the things that makes him so dangerous. See, both the backers plug, but they give up a gap. And KJ sees that, and we knows both backers plug, and it's man coverage. No one has him man-to-man. So as soon as he saw that and saw a seam, he just took off. He knew he was going to get the first down because no one was assigned to him on the defense.
So 1st and goal. Jefferson looking for the end zone. Going to lob that one incomplete. Initially looked like Nathan Bax, the tight end, his intended man. Lorenzo McCaskill is all over him. 2nd and goal coming up. Under a minute. 17-7 Arkansas. This will be the 10th play of the drive. They started out with a very impressive one. Also 10 plays that merited a field goal to get on the board. 3 wideouts to the right now for the Razorbacks.
Watch a little pop pass here by KJ stepping up, or they're going to set that up with the quarterback run right there. Spread it out, and that's the thing he can bring. He's like a tailback. So you spread him out on the goal line, remove another guy out of the box, and then he's got the power run game. And then they'll set that up, and watch. They're going to try to set that up and sneak somebody out for a little pop jump pass as the game goes on in the red zone.
Picked up 4 there. Green and Dominion, the running backs now. 3rd down and goal. Clock counting down here in the first quarter. Trying to get into the end zone again. A little bit of a slip there. Now Jefferson staying on his feet, diving for that goal line, and he is in, and that is a touchdown. Touchdown, Arkansas. That was hard fought and hard won.
And 3 Kansas players right there with the opportunity to stop him, but his power, his strength, and his will down at the goal line. Right here, there's two Kansas players right there for him, but he gets low, extends the ball out.
What a great effort.
Great effort. That's a touchdown. This great crowd tonight's going to be calling the pigs here soon.
Tremendous effort to keep a knee off the deck and never touched as he broke the plane with a football. And Arkansas continues to roll 23-7.
And this is a big game for KJ Jefferson. Made the announcement he's coming back next year. And he wants to make a statement. Hey, this is kind of my lead in to next season. I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference next year. In today's college football, there's other players out watching this game right now that are in that transfer portal.
Oh, sure.
They're going to say, hey, they got a pretty good quarterback there at Arkansas. I might want to go play with him a little bit.
That pretty good quarterback has led Arkansas to 221 yards of total offense so far in the first quarter with 23 seconds.
We're still in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, we knew we'd have some high-scoring offense with both of these teams. But at Kansas, don't count them out. They can put points on the board, and they can do it in a hurry.
Well, you said it, on the ride over from the hotel. You said, don't be fooled, anybody. They've lost a lot of players. The guys who are here are really, really talented.
They had some guys opt out, but the stars are here playing tonight, and that star led by KJ Jefferson, the great quarterback at Arkansas.
Hey, this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Let's get out of Taylor.
Someone having the time of their life down here on the sideline. Arkansas linebackers coach, who's now the interim defensive coordinator, Michael Scheer, got the opportunity when Barry Odom left for UNLV. He has been incredibly vocal down here, calling plays for the first time in his career. His trajectory to get here is incredible. In 2016, he was playing at Mizzou, had a chance in the NFL, but got injured, decided to get out of football. In 2017, he was selling insurance for Stan Kroenke, decided he missed football too much, was a GA at Mizzou in 18 and 19, and then came with Barry Odom to Arkansas in 2020 as a defensive analyst. Last season got promoted to linebackers coach, and here this season calling plays. Quite the story for the kid from Missouri.
I think somebody else can handle the whole life policy from here on out. I think he's in pretty good shape.
He's doing a good job. And
they call this interception.
Yeah, and a great job. And they've mixed it up. You can see him in a 4-down front, which they haven't shown a whole lot. They roll to one high in man coverage. Great job locking up the receivers. And I think they're going to look and say, hey, our secondary guys can run with the receivers of Kansas, allow us to play a little bit of man coverage on the back end and go make plays. You see them coming out in this again in the 4-down front, which they haven't played much in the last couple of years.
Of course, Barry Odom leaving to become the new head coach at UNLV. Travis Williams will be the new offensive coordinator next season, leaving that job at UCF. On a return across the 40-yard line, Devin Neal chased out by Chris Paul. He'll gain 15 on that return. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Kansas. They need an answer right now.
They do. This is a big drive for them here right now. Come back. Now, they know they can score points, but they don't want to fall too big a hole. They want to keep up and go kind of punch for punch with Arkansas on the offensive side of the ball here.
Arkansas throwing some defensive punches, and a big return on the scoreboard after the pick. That was huge. Turning that into 6. Arkansas rolling. Welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Picture perfect night. A little on the cool side, not very windy, a little bit of that, not too much. Just gorgeous weather, and Arkansas is loving it. 221 yards already, Dan, and the 24 points is the most in a quarter by one team in Liberty Bowl history.
And they're flowing. And now Kansas helped out with 2 turnovers to put them in position, but everything Arkansas is doing is working on offense right now. And it's got us a huge drive for Kansas, though, to respond, to keep up with them.
Daniels with a short pass there for Arnold, #1 receiver. He will pick up 9 yards. So a good start there on this drive to begin the second quarter, trailing 24-7.
Well, and Jalen Daniels, such a great leader. When you talk to their coaches, they say, he's got the it factor in everything that he does. So they're not going to panic. He's going to get this team together. He's going to lead them, calm everybody down, and just say, hey guys, don't worry about the score. Let's just put a drive together. Let's put the ball in the end zone, and let's let this game keep playing on as we keep going.
It's a team that did score 56 touchdowns. That's their most since 2008. They didn't find the end zone. No question about that. He can't get free there as he crosses the 50. Not for a big game, but he does pick up a first down and a gain of 3.
That's a first row, like the true speed option play we've seen them run so far. And that's a big part of their offense. Arkansas defended it well, but you see what Jalen Daniels does is no panic, gets the first down, takes a couple yards, takes what the defense gives you. And that, as a quarterback, that's so critical.
Kansas, number 28 in the country in points per game. They scored 42 or more on 4 different occasions. So it's a very confident offensive group. First down 10. Empty backfield here for Daniels. He'll throw again over the middle and complete. And he found Jared Casey, the tight end, blocked up by Chris Paul. Casey, the guy who caught the game-winning 2-point conversion in overtime to beat Texas in 2021. That'll win you a lot of fans overnight.
And really was a statement game for Lance Leipold and this Kansas program to get that win at the back half of last season, leading them into this year.
Hill with a short carry of 2. Early moments of the second. Go back to that game that we're talking about in 2021.
Yeah, and it is. When you're a program that's been struggling, you have a new coach, and you want something to build off of. That 2-point conversion to win the game for Kansas, to beat Texas at Texas. You go into that next offseason, and you know what? All the guys on the sideline start saying, hey, this coach, he told us he was going to come in. He brought a winning tradition. He knows how winners win. And I'm going to start listening a little bit more to what he's got to say. I believe in this guy and what he's going to bring to this program.
You say on the road at Texas. Neal with another carry, trying to bounce outside. A stop by Paul again, but a first down, gain of 8. And for more on that, let's toss it down to Taylor.
Linebacker Rich Miller telling me that Texas win is when everybody really started to buy into what Lance Leipold was trying to do at Kansas. Leipold came in establishing a culture of we're only going to worry about what we're doing today, and over time things will add up, and that was finally when they felt the fruits of all their labor.
Just signed an extension through 2029. Coach Leipold did. I saw him at the Indiana-Kansas basketball game in Lawrence. He got a huge hand at halftime. People very, very happy with him. He's very popular. And another one's going to be picked off. Or is it going to bounce? And indeed, he is going to get it. Dwight McGlover got that one. The 4th of the year. Flags are down on the play. But a pick.
And that pick's going to stand as a celebration penalty afterwards. But just a missed throw right here by Jalen Daniels. He had man coverage. He saw it. They checked to that route combination. And just not on the same page with him and the receiver. There had to be some mistake made.
The result of the play is an interception. After the play, unsportsmanlike
conduct.
Guy who
had 3 picks during the regular season, had 9 passes broken up as well. The LSU transfer.
Yep. Anyway, this is not what we've seen from Kansas all year. This is their 3rd turnover of the game. You see, it's man-to-man coverage. They pass off the route combination, and just not a great throw by him against the blitz right there.
Now those turnovers racking up for Kansas.
Let me show you how to go ball. Let me show you how to.
Well, the interim defensive coordinator for Arkansas is going to be thrilled with his team's effort because they are picking up a lot of things Kansas is doing, and they're shutting them down.
He is, and he's brought a little different scheme from what they've done in the past. They've been a big 3-down drop 8. You see him playing a lot of 4 down right now, and it's causing some issues. But putting guys in position to make plays on the defensive side of the ball. Special teams came up big with a turnover, but another interception. Man coverage on the outside. They pass off the combination. Great. McGlover gets his eyes up, makes the pick. Jalen Daniels with 2 interceptions tonight. Only had 2 on the entire season coming into the game.
Jefferson looking to throw and got that one complete. Here on the near sideline, it's A.J. Green with the reception, stopped by Kobe Bryant, but up before a 12-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, great tackle in the open field there. Kobe Bryant, the all-Big 12 performer, their top corner. You know, they're looking right now, Kansas, for one of their stars defensively to step up, make a play. They need a big defensive play to maybe turn momentum in this game.
And again, if you're not with us in the early stages of the game, Rocket Sanders, one of the top running backs in the conference in the SEC, one of the better running backs in America, went down with an injury, but Arkansas, frankly, has not missed a beat.
No, they're controlling the line of scrimmage, able to run the ball, and KJ Jefferson making great decisions, both running and throwing.
A.J. Green getting some carries here, trying to find an opening on that right side, and we'll pick up 2. And the stop by Eddie Wilson.
And this is where Arkansas wants to be, in 3rd down and 5 or less situations, because all eyes again. You have your whole offense in front of you at this point. You can throw the ball, but KJ can get the 5 yards, either a quarterback run or a scramble, and he just draws so much attention from the defense. They got to keep an eye on him. It creates good matchups for you in the passing game.
3rd down 5. Trying to step up and get those 5, and they converge on him, and that was Jeremy Robinson who found him first with the tackle.
And great job there. They went to an empty formation, so they emptied the backfield out. And why do you do that? You create 4 receivers. You try to create numbers in the box where it's 5 defense players and 5 offensive linemen. Let KJ Jefferson run for the first down. Kansas saw that, twisted the D-line to eat up the gaps inside, so there was nowhere for him to run.
Coach, felt like a big stop.
That's as big a stop as Kansas had in this game. They need some momentum, and then their offense. They know their offense can score points.
Flag down here as the punt takes a hop back toward the 40-yard line, but the flag dropped at the 30 of Arkansas. We'll wait for the call there. 9:50 to go in the 2nd quarter. And Arkansas on top 24-7 in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th
Matthew
down.
Richards, our referee.
Illegal formation and
Correction.
So they'll repeat
that
4th down.
penalty will be added to the end of the return.
they're going to do that, or they're going to.
Let's see.
They might just take that at the end of the play.
Right. Well, Friday, we'll have a lot of orange in Miami for the Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 6 Tennessee taking on number 7 Clemson at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app. Blake Klubnik will make his first start at quarterback for Clemson. DJ Uiagalelei transferring to Oregon State. The first time both Orange Bowl teams have had orange as their primary color since 1951.
That makes it fun right there. And great play again. The Arkansas defense, Dwight McGlothern stepping up, making the tackle right there and stopping the option play. But the Orange Bowl is going to be a really exciting game. With 2 teams, you're looking at the backup quarterback situations for both teams coming in, and both teams had such great years. And you know, Tennessee with the most wins they've had since 2007. We're in the national title conversation throughout the entire season. Obviously with Hendon Hooker getting hurt late in the year, that hurt, and the tough loss to South Carolina at the end. But this is a big game for them, building into next season that they're not just a one-year wonder, they're going to be a consistent winner.
Pass incomplete. And one intended for Lawrence Arnold. Uiagalelei, we saw him a bunch in the ACC, of course, struggling at times. Other times, it looked like he was getting it, looked like he was starting to really get comfortable with that role. It never really happened.
And it didn't. And his inconsistency is what hurt him. And, you know, he's kind of one of those, you watched him play, and he never got comfortable, and the fan base had Cade Klubnik looking over his shoulder the whole time, never allowed him to get comfortable. Now he's off to Oregon State, and it's Cade Klubnik's team.
Arnold in motion, far out to the left. Daniels again trying to get in gear, has time in the pocket. Now he's going to be flushed out and trying to get free. He's dragged down on the play. Arkansas gets to him. Terry Hampton, the defensive tackle from behind, got to the quarterback.
And I think these looks right now, Arkansas shifting to the 4-down front, playing some different looks on the back end with the coverage is causing some confusion. A lot of times you haven't practiced against this look coming into the game. Even though other teams play it, you've seen it. There's great time here on the play, but you look at it all the time, there's no one open for him down the field. Trying to scramble, extend with his legs, make something happen. Eventually time runs out. Great stop by Arkansas right there. And really just taking the momentum from this Kansas team that, you know, it's a great crowd here tonight. The excitement, all the Kansas fans are packing this stadium, and they can't wait to get going. But Arkansas, another great crowd. They're shutting them down right now, and it's the defensive front keeping them in contain, and a great job chasing the play down from behind.
We're living that good, good life. We're living that good life. We're living that good, good life. We're living that good life.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone. Free battery testing and charging at every store. Get in the zone. AutoZone. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
That was back on October 8th. Great for Kansas. College game day on the scene. First time ever. They started out 5-0. Played a great game against TCU. Lost that game. Lawrence had an enormous crowd on hand all the way through, but they lost 38-31.
And Jalen Daniels got hurt in that game. Kind of took some of maybe the juice out of the season. They were like America's team at that point coming into the year. All the excitement around it. But Lance Leipold is a winner. He's the fastest coach in NCAA history to 100 wins. Up at Wisconsin Whitewater, winning 6 national titles at D3. 1 at Buffalo, 1 everywhere he's been. So you see the belief in the program, the excitement in the Kansas program. You see that in the crowd here today. Huge Kansas crowd supporting their football team and getting excited about the future and what Lance Leipold is building.
Good many of them inside our hotel in downtown Memphis. So the coffee lines were long, but they were very, very nice.
Very good, nice people.
They are awfully nice people, and what a great leap forward for Lance, too, from 2-10 to 6-6, and the extension of the contract. Jefferson trying to wriggle free, looking downfield, directing traffic, and they get the pass complete. Rifle that one to Stevens.
And we talk about KJ Jefferson. What makes him special is that his ability to extend plays and his strength in the pocket And you think you got him. He's there. We got him contained. We got hands on him. No, he gets out. But it's not getting out to run. Eyes are downfield. It's a key part to a quarterback, to keep the eyes downfield, make those throws, extend plays with your legs to throw.
22 touchdown passes this season. They'll stay on the ground here, and Dubinion with the carry for 3. Well, Arkansas 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC, beating Kansas for just the 3rd time. The first 2 were in 1905 and 1906, so it's been a little while.
I don't remember that game.
Neither one of them. They both escaped my limited memory. Going to be a long chuck here. A lot of contact there, and there will be a flag thrown. No question about that. The intended receiver was Matt Landers.
And that's their matchup. And at the end, I think the Kansas fans are upset. A little bit of contact there at the end, but they got him early on. He grabbed in a hold early on in the route. Right there. Kalen Gervin just grabbed the back of his jersey there early in the route. I think that's what they're going to get him on. Oh, looks might be a second flag down here at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there were 2.
There's no foul for pass interference. That contact is legal. However, ineligible player downfield, offense number 55. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Winds up a total bust for Arkansas, huh? Wow.
I thought the end it was fine. I thought early on he got a little pull, but they let him go. They let that go earlier on in the route.
So ineligible downfield, as we did see 2 flags there. And no PI. 6:52 to go in the second. Kansas, their defense has allowed points. Give up 55 to Texas, 47 to K-State, 52 to Oklahoma. So at times that has been a real weak spot.
It has, but you know what? They've always counted on their offense to score points and to keep them in games, and that's what we're saying. They need to get this stop, and the offense needs to get rolling. They need to build some momentum and some confidence, and that'll swell throughout the entire team.
From the 39, second down to 12, and Jefferson with the handoff. Got a big hole right up the middle. Dubinion with a major carry as he'll gain 26 and a first down. Eventually Rich Miller with the stop.
And you look here on the zone read. KJ Jefferson sees the player hanging out on the overhang outside the tackle. Hands it off. Great movement by this Arkansas line. They're getting great movement up front.
Knocked down here with 6:27 to go in the quarter. Kenny Logan really leads that defense for Kansas. Able to knock that down. Many of his pals transferred when Les Miles was fired, but he stayed. He's really been the face of the defense.
Yeah, he has. He leads the team in tackles. And you see right there, his eyes right on KJ Jefferson. It was an RPO. KJ pulled the ball, looking to throw the slant behind him. He read that, did a great job getting his hands and getting in the throwing lane.
Second down 10. On the keep, here's Jefferson again. And darts to the 30. And a stop from Lonnie Phelps, but he'll gain 5 yards on that carry.
Reverse zone read right there. So, you know, the triple zone read where the quarterback reads the defensive end or hands it off to the running back inside. That was reverse where the running back runs outside and the quarterback runs inside. They read the same defensive play with them.
Now, KJ has been the early star here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl here in the first half, certainly.
And this could be 4-down territory right here for Arkansas right now. So they watch them possibly run the ball or look to see if they can get it or make it. They have 2 downs. And Sam will tell that to the offense coordinator. You got 2 downs to get this.
And the clock winding down and a timeout for Arkansas.
Arkansas, their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
Now with 5:40 to go before halftime. We'll take the break as well. Arkansas leading Kansas 24-7. The Liberty Bowl started back in 1959, but in '64, the Liberty Bowl hosted the first ever indoor bowl game. Utah beat West Virginia 32-6 at the Atlantic City Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then the bowl moved to Memphis the following year in 1965. It's been here ever since. This season, 13 bowls are being played indoors or in stadiums with retractable roofs. But
This is one of the great historic bowl games. You love it. If you're a college football enthusiast, this is it. You can see it by the crowd here today. Biggest crowd I've seen in bowl games this year. I mean, almost a full house. They do such a great job. The gala last night was spectacular. They do a great job here at the Liberty Bowl.
Well, Arkansas knocking on the door again, trying to get down to the 20-yard line. And a 10-yard run and catch by A.J. Green. Stopped by Mello Dotson, but a first down on that play. And this is a great city. It's filled with tremendous history. You've got Elvis Presley, of course, you've got Graceland, you've got all of the great
Beale Street, and Beale Street's rocking every night. It's
phenomenal.
And you know, and Steve Earhart and the bowl committee here at the Liberty Bowl, having coached in it twice, they do such a fantastic job.
Looking for that end zone once again, and into the touchdown. In for the touchdown is A.J. Green from 20 yards. And no flags on the play, and Arkansas continues to get pretty much whatever they want offensively.
This is the type of game Sam Pittman wanted right here. Physical at the line of scrimmage, be able to go run the football and doing it. You see here, it's a zone read, but it's a reverse zone read. So KJ Jefferson right there reading number 99, Malcolm Lee, for Kansas. But at 6'5", 255, he was flat-footed, didn't have the speed to catch up to the skill players getting around the edge.
8 plays and 78 yards for the touchdown to lead it 31-7. A.J. Green really stepping up here with Rocket Sanders out. And Saturday, the games we've been waiting for all year long. Number 2 Michigan taking on number 3 TCU in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl at 4 Eastern. Then it's number 1 Georgia, number 4 Ohio State, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Both games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. What do you think about Stetson Bennett and how he's proved a lot of people wrong?
Well, he has, and he's a great leader for him. I think he's more athletic than anybody gives him credit for. Does a great job leading the offense, and he's a veteran, experienced player, knows the system well. He kind of do it all for him. He doesn't have to force it. He lets other players make plays unless he needs to, and then he'll make the plays when they need him to, leading them to another undefeated season. And it's really hard to repeat as a team. But when you have a quarterback that's, I think, 25, 26 years old, he's a veteran, mature guy that understands everything going on and the pressures around him to lead that team in every single way.
27-3 tells you everything you want.
That's what it does. And you know, and people said, hey, they have so much talent around him and they win despite him. It's not that. Now they win. He can win the game if he needs to, but he doesn't force it. He lets the playmakers make the plays until it's his time. And when it's his time, though, he's always stepped up for them to make the plays they need to win games.
Well, Arkansas taking full control of this one with about 5 minutes to go before halftime. And another drive to punch it in for 6. And already they have forced 3 turnovers for the Kansas Jayhawks. They're trying to get outside. Not a lot there on the edge. And we'll pick up just 3 yards on the carry.
And again, I think they're struggling with the adjustments that the Arkansas defense has made. Getting into this 4-down quarter scheme, they've really struggled with the adjustments of the Arkansas defense coming into this game.
Now that first drive, Coach, was so impressive.
And a lot of times you're scripting that, and the players are comfortable. You've gone through the script, you know how you want to start, and then you're going to make adjustments into the game. And I think getting back into the game sometimes, the Arkansas defense, they're missing some of their leaders, right? Their linebackers, missing Bumper Poole, missing the
Ricky Stromberg, yeah, the center.
Well, that's a huge one. But for the Arkansas defense, Drew Sanders not being there, but I think the younger guys now are getting comfortable being back in the flow of the game, making the plays, and they're able to do that.
On the outside, Arnold. And we'll gain 11 on the pass, pushed out by McAdoo.
Big 3rd down conversion there. Got into a bunch set against man coverage, and a little pick route right there to get him open into the flat.
Well, you got to tip your cap to Sam Pittman. You know, being able to rally his team despite all of the departures, and as we have talked about tonight, huge names in this program that they're doing without. and yet putting together a terrific game plan at this point.
Well, and there were such high expectations coming into the year, and they get up to number 10. They lose some tough games. They lost 4 games this year by a total of 9 points, even though they're 6-6. So, you look at that with big wins. Huge win over Ole Miss. A huge win against a really good Cincinnati team early in the year. And so I think they can come in and they can rally them with a little chip on our shoulder, say, this is our chance to make a statement that even though the year didn't go the way we wanted to, we're better than people think we are.
Well, they did lose a bunch of games by just a handful of points. Daniels on the slide, and will gain 7. Jalen Daniels on the run. Yeah, they lost 4 games. Arkansas did by a total of 9 points. As a head coach, it's tough to take.
That's a tough one because you're looking back, you're saying, hey, but the margin, when you play in the Southeastern Conference, the margin for victory is so small. The depth of the league, every single week you're going to play a great team, and the margin for victory is so small. And they know that coming into the year. So this team's going to come out and say, hey, we're not that bad. We're going to show what we can do and finish on a high note.
They're down 5 for Daniels. And complete here on the near side to Grimm. Grimm looking to break free, and out he goes after 17 yards and a first down.
Another nice adjustment. Andy Koltanecki, the offensive coordinator for Kansas, really innovative with offense. I think now you're starting to see, hey, they're playing us differently than we expected. There's some man-to-man. Let's get into bunch routes, create some pick routes, and see if we can create one-on-one opportunities down the field.
There's with some time, got a shot, pretty good pop right there at the 35-yard line, laid on Quentin Skinner by Quincy McAdoo, who's having himself a really good Liberty Bowl.
He really is. And a great heads-up play by him right there in that situation. See, so many times guys come in and you get the targeting foul. Did a great job leading with his shoulder, staying low, hitting him in the midsection, staying away from the head, and a good clean tackle right there.
McAdoo already has an interception, and Skinner down and shaken up on that play. The sophomore out of Oklahoma, he's 5 touchdowns this season.
Right here, he came off, it was man coverage. He did a great job reading the quarterback, coming off of his man, reading the quarterback's eyes, making the big hit, trying to ignite the defense and slow down this Kansas offense.
At Barry coming up on the TikTok halftime report. Historic win for Duke today in their bowl game. Plus, we'll talk Max Duggan, what he needs to do to beat Michigan. Final Peach Bowl preps. Plus, we will relive every moment where Dan Mullen earned $1 during his studio work this year. That coming up on the TikTok halftime report.
Matt, I'm just glad all of those guys take your direction so well, so effectively.
I really, Matt and Joey, make sure, I know you guys take up the time, give Greg an opportunity to get his thoughts in at halftime at this break.
Short pass, Kansas trying to move the football here, trying to get on the board again, and they've got 1:38 before halftime. How big would that be?
This is a huge drive because you remember, they get the ball to start the second half, so they can get 2 scores in a row to get back into the game. You see that with Lance Leipold. There's no panic on the team. Run the ball, run your offense. Let's settle down. See if we can get a score on this drive and get momentum going into half, because we get the ball to start the second half, and we're an explosive team.
Kansas, their first of the half.
Timeout here.
It's a 30-second timeout.
For Kansas on 2nd down and 6 with 1:23 before the break. 31-7 Arkansas, and coming up Saturday, a great game to lead into the CFP semifinals. Number 5 Alabama battling number 9 Kansas State. The All-State Sugar Bowl, noon Eastern on ESPN and the app. Nick Saban, by the way, 1-3 in Sugar Bowls as the head coach at Alabama.
Yeah, and it's great to see that you have Will Anderson playing in this game, projected number 1 pick in the draft. Bryce Young should probably be the top quarterback taken in the draft in my mind. You see what he's done and just how he controls it, his coolness under pressure, his ability to throw from the pocket. And both those guys playing in the game, not opting out, is not just great for Alabama, it's great for college football.
10th play of this drive for the Jayhawks. 2nd down 6. Daniels, got him indeed, right over the middle for the tight end, Mason Fairchild. All Big 12, second team, finds the end zone, 24 yards.
some excitement back here for all the Rock Chalk Jayhawk fans coming out here to the game. We said this was a huge drive for them, and the patience of coming down the field, sticking with the offense, no panic right here. They do a great job on the play action, get them down the middle of the field. They're going to go for 2 here.
We already talked about Jared Casey catching a 2-point conversion against Texas in 2021. And a timeout.
Timeout.
Arkansas.
There's second.
Smart timeout by Sam Pittman right here to just make sure, big play. Let's maybe see some momentum back. Stop this 2-point conversion right here. So let's get settled to make sure we got the right defense call. But we come back right here. Again, we look at all the option plays. They're going to fake the jet sweep handoff right here. You're going to hide the tight end down the middle of the field. Here it comes, looks. They fake the sweep. They're looking at quarterback run, bad eyes. And they're able to sneak the tight end right down the middle of the field right there for the touchdown. Simon Blair missed them, the safeties. The one thing you're going to see with this Arkansas defense, they're running a new little defense. They haven't run a whole lot this year. And we talked to Coach Shearer about that coming into it. And his influences, being with Ryan Walters at Missouri as well, who plays a 4-down scheme, not the 3-down that they've been playing all year. We're going to see that. And there's still some miscommunications on the back end.
Going for 2 here, 31-13. Kansas has Torrey Loughlin in the backfield. Wants to throw short and going to be broken up. Busted up by Chris Paul, who's really putting a stamp on this game defensively, as you thought he might. The freshman All-American.
Well, we knew he had big shoes to fill with Drew Sanders not playing, but he's come in, and you know what? I think he's taken a lot of pride in that he's the future middle linebacker and the center of this Arkansas defense here in the future. And there he is. I mean, what a great for the freshman All-American this year. Coming in, and you know, he's got to learn. The great thing when you have a guy like Drew Sanders in front of you and you're a young player, you don't always look at it and say, okay, I got this guy. How is it going to affect my reps? I'm not going to the transfer portal. I'm not doing this. I want to go look at that guy and find out, how does he prepare? What does he do on it to prepare for each game? How does he prepare his body? What's he doing drill work? And Pupal's done that this year. You know, he's had that opportunity to go learn from one of the best in all of college football. And you see that. Now he's sitting there and saying, this is my time to shine. This is my team. I'm the guy in the middle going to make the plays. And I'm going to be the future of this defense.
And for more, let's toss it down to Taylor.
Well, Drew Sanders had a big impact on Chris Paul because of his vocal leadership. That's what Paul told me. He said, I had to learn from him how to be the quarterback of the defense. The way he talked to guys when things were going well, not going well, that was his biggest takeaway from what Sanders was to this football team and now what Paul needs to be.
So you're a freshman All-American learning from an All-American. You're going to be mentored well.
And that's some good depth, right, to have that. Oh, yeah. You have the All-American, and then you have the freshman All-American coming in next.
A.J. Green bounces to the 20 and the spin before he takes a hit inside the 25-yard line, is stopped by Cardell. 21-yard return. Just a world of talent for Chris Paul out of Cordell, Georgia.
And we'll see here with that score, a minute 9, and you have KJ Jefferson. They're going to let this go and try to get one more score here before the half and flip momentum back to your side if you're Arkansas right now.
Did you coach bowl games differently than you did regular season?
When you get here to the game, you don't. You're still going. You'll see some tricks maybe every once in a while because you can't take them into the offseason, so you might as well use them in the bowl game. But I think the key to the bowl game is make sure everybody has a great time. It's a celebration. Everybody has fun. They enjoy being here. They want to be here and go make plays. But the key that makes every bowl game great is winning. And both these teams, this bowl experience, when you get a win, it makes it that much better. And you're sitting for the next 8 to 9 months. You're sitting on this game.
First down and 10. Dominion with a nice carry. Jefferson again, flushed up there on the move. And he'll go to the sideline. Good pressure there. Brought by Kansas Caleb Sampson.
We have a receiver in the area of a pass.
Defensive tackle. So it brings up second down and 10. And 49 seconds remaining here in the first half. Arkansas has had a lot of fun. So have their fans. But Kansas making a little bit of a late comeback. Big touchdown there.
That was huge for them, and to just see some momentum. They can get a stop right here to head into halftime and jump on that momentum going into the second half. They're showing blitz, the double A gap look here, and bailed out of it.
And another big hit on the play as Dubinion is taken down by Kenny Logan, who made sure of it. Not before he picked up 12, though.
And a great run right here. They get the backers bailing out, so the linebackers were running backwards on the snap and able to get movement by the offensive line.
Trying to get free and does eventually get away. And bounces off Jefferson.
15 more at the end.
And flags as well at the end of the play. He gains 31 yards. A couple of missed tackles
that's
there.
what makes him so special. You're just watching, and the officials know that. If you got a hold of him, you better hold on tight and get some more friends to come to the party to get him down on the ground. You look
After
right
the play,
now,
personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense number 1.
If you're going to bring it, you better bring it when you go to tackle him right there. And then Kenny Logan's got to be smarter there at the end of the play. You had all the momentum. You're getting ready to go into halftime. Get him out of bounds. Don't give him the extra.
Late hit there on Kenny Logan, a personal foul. And as you said, talking about a senior there, got to be smarter than that. So 24 seconds to go. Jefferson trying to punch it in again. Tremendous run there. Going to fire toward the end zone. And that one is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by O.J. Burrows.
And that's the play that the Kansas defense we've been waiting for to make. We're saying, you know, they've given up yards, but we need the defense to come up with a big play for them to maybe help get momentum going on their side. And that was such a big play. It's an RPO. You look at KJ Jefferson reading, he sees he's got one-on-one coverage on the slant. Just what a great job right there by O.J. Burrows, beating him to the ball. Beating the receiver to the ball, reading the play, reading it's going to be a slant off the RPO, stepping in front of him to make the interception and get the huge play to keep momentum on Kansas' side heading into halftime.
And man, did they need it with the touchdown and now the pick. 31-13 Arkansas, but Kansas turning the momentum their way here in the final moments before halftime. And Kansas, remember, will have the ball to start the second half. Jefferson certainly not happy as he is picked off.
I think he thought that maybe there was pass interference right there. But you know what? Burrows stepped in. He has an opportunity to go for the ball too. He didn't play through the receiver. Sam's not happy about it either. Coach Pittman's letting him know about it. He'll set him up for that for the second half. He'll just voice his opinion and say, I disagree with you right here. It's a very civil conversation. As a head coach gets after the officials,
that's what he said.
As people are dragging him off the field.
I disagree. I beg to
Merry
differ.
Christmas and a Happy New Year to you, sir.
31-13 at the break. Matt, Joey, and Greg coming your way with the TikTok halftime report.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. And from Memphis, getting ready for the second half. Arkansas on top of Kansas, 31-13 at the break. Rocket Sanders, outstanding running back for Arkansas, will not return because of an ankle injury. KJ Jefferson, though, he has been running wild, Coach. In the first half, he was outstanding in a couple of different ways.
Yeah, and not just with his arm, but really his legs. He went into beast mode a couple of times, dragging people with him. He rushed for 92 yards in the first half. Most of those coming after contact and carrying runners, breaking tackles, making big plays, and carrying that Arkansas offense.
Their defense was pretty stout, too.
Well, and that's what's really been the story of this game is the Arkansas defense. They've held Kansas to 21 yards rushing in the first half. They've been averaging, giving up over 180 yards a game. They're 12th in the SEC in rush defense. They've made some adjustments, and it's really stopped that Kansas running game.
Kansas getting the ball to begin the second half. Right now we go down to Taylor McGregor.
Well, Dan Mullen mentioned it, the adjustments by Arkansas's defense. That has been the story here. They're playing in that 4-down front after playing mainly in a 3-down front all season, and it's really paid dividends, especially in that run game, giving up just 21 yards in the first half. And then offensively, really impressed with KJ Jefferson was Sam Pittman. They love what he's doing, but they also love the playmakers around him and how hard they've played.
And remembering, too, it's a Kansas team that can really move the football. 5th best in the nation in yards per play. 7 per play. Led by Jalen Daniels. And going to stay on the ground here. And a carry by Kai Thomas. Going to be bottled up by Cam Ball here. First play of the second half. Gains only a yard.
Yeah, I think Devin Neal got banged up possibly a little bit there in the first half. And we've seen a little bit more of Kai Thomas from the Kansas offense so far right here. But that's that Arkansas defensive front. That shift into 4 down to help solidify the run game. And you saw it right there in the first play. They're creating penetration at the line of scrimmage. There's no seams for the Kansas running game.
Kansas rushing for 195 yards per game during the season. So they can get the push up front. Here's Daniels again on the move. We're going to go over to Grimm on the sideline. Luke Grimm, the junior from Raymore, Missouri, but he's going to lose yardage there. Going to lose 6.
And a great job by the secondary right there of Arkansas. They tried to run a little post wheel combination, faking the bubble screen and then the post wheel behind it. Arkansas secondary passed it off perfectly. And Jalen Daniels really got to look and say, they can pass this perfectly. I'm just going to throw it over his head. Let's not lose the 6 yards in this situation. Just throw it over his head, which is hard to do for young quarterbacks. To not want to try to make a play.
And then picking up on some of your cues that hadn't even left his hand, you were going, no, you don't want to do that. Back to throw again. A little time in the pocket. Gets it free. A battle for that. And a tough catch there on the side by Arnold. And going to move the sticks there with a 27-yard pass play.
Great job here by LJ. Arnold right here using his body, his 6'3" frame. He just runs the go route. Not going to run by him, but uses his body. Jalen Daniels gives him a chance to make the catch, and he does.
Arnold's a good receiver again. 36 catches during the regular season. Kind of a co-number 1 right there on the sideline, able to haul it in.
And you see right there, great job by Jalen Daniels, keeping his eyes down the middle of the field to hold the free safety because he knows he has one-on-one, and that's the shot he's going to take. And Arnold doing a great job using his body. When you use your skill as a receiver, if you're not going to have the breakaway speed maybe to run by, use your size to box him out and hands to make the catch.
Jayhawks O-line's a good one, allowing less than a sack per game. 9 total all season long. Daniels again going to hand off. As they stay on the ground, it's Devin Neal this time. Neal, a guy they can throw to as well. He picks up 6 on the ground.
And Andy Koltonecki, the offensive coordinator for Kansas, see him still. No panic, still the patience. Even though they're not doing a great job running the ball, they haven't abandoned the run game. They're going to stick with it, see if they can kind of break down that Arkansas defense. See the type of adjustments they've made at halftime, knowing now they're getting a lot more 4-down fronts.
Daniels, a guy who can be an electrifying quarterback in his own right. Rushing for 6 touchdowns and passing for 13. In the pocket, some pressure, and off the fingertips. He wanted Arnold again, but incomplete.
And Cameron Ball up for Arkansas inside, got a little bit of pressure, made him throw it a little bit earlier before he wanted to get rid of the ball. Got pressure up on him inside on the twist game. You see him coming, he threw it a little bit earlier than he wanted to. They had a little combination route against man coverage out there, and the ball sailed.
4th and 4, they're going to go for it. With Devin Neal in the backfield along with Daniels.
I might throw a surprise quick punt here.
Well, you call that. And punted short. Going to keep on bouncing and bouncing, and it does get into the end zone. 48-yard kick in the end, but you had that one nailed. And we will take the break here. Arkansas to get it back 31-13. They have the lead. Here's where you want to be post-game. Beale Street here in Memphis. A great spot. 31-13 Arkansas. We look at the finalists for this year's Navy Federal Credit Union ROTC All-American Scholarship, awarded to a student who embodies leadership, military excellence, scholarship, and community service. It's year number 5 of the award. Navy Federal Credit Union has already donated over $300,000 to help move students' missions forward.
A lot of fun on Beale Street right there. Great history and of music and unbelievable place to be. Still a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun down on Beale Street.
If you like ribs, you've gone to the right place. And music.
Yeah. Well, I was walking down Beale Street, my feet 10 feet off the ground the other day, and I'll tell you what, though, they were out there, live music all times a day. For lunch, they have live music going. It's just an awesome scene, great environment, so much fun.
It's a must here. Jefferson on the carry, stopped by Malcolm Lee. It's music all the time, all kinds of music. There's something for everybody on Beale Street.
There really is. There really is. It was going last night. I mean, it is shoulder to shoulder. It's packed, people all over the street. It's a lot of fun. Even at a cool night, it's still a lot of fun.
Very festive here in Memphis, and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, a big part of that. Green with a carry will pick up the first down.
That was the offensive line again. Look at the movement in the interior part of the offensive line right now for Arkansas. Creating even the situations, 1-2 yard runs, but they make a difference. And especially third down and short to get that movement, but to keep the offense, keep momentum on your side.
Now the quarterback Jefferson handing off once again. Dominion finding open space to rumble and got down near the 50-yard line. Stopped by Kenny Logan, but that's 17 yards.
Yeah, and Arkansas right there, they bring the motion around. They're going to fake the reverse, and you see the Kansas linebackers step out of their gaps looking for that reverse, and it opens up the seams.
Again, great tempo here, and again, staying on the ground, and a run by Stevens. Stevens busting tackles on the way. So the wide receiver getting into the act, picking up 20 before Robinson prevented him from going all the way.
And the play before, they fake the reverse. This time they run the reverse. And a great job by Stevens. And when he gets in the open field, too, you look at the excitement he has. Young player, he was a guy that had to fill some shoes coming into this game, and they were excited about him and his future.
Dominion, no edge for him as he's dragged down. Good stop here by Kansas. Jeremy Robinson, a loss of 5. Read that one beautifully.
Right here, getting up the field. That's the outside run plays. You got to create penetration if you're going to stop the outside zone. You see right there, the tight end's got to give a little bit more support right there, but he's able to get upfield and set the edge and create a tackle for loss.
Jefferson to rifle that one and complete. Down to the 20-yard line on a sliding grab by Jaden Wilson, and 17.
Great patience. This is one of the things that KJ Jefferson, I think he's going to be special again next year. His ability to make the throws down the field.
Arkansas, great tempo once again. And they're going to try for the end zone once again, but shut down on the run. Dominion. He's been a workhorse here ever since Sanders had to step aside with an ankle injury. That's a 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, 5'10", 211, physical player.
Officials timeout for an injury.
A man down here for Kansas, and that is Robinson, the 6'3", 255-pound junior from Montgomery, Alabama.
Timeout on the field.
Clutching at an arm there. And we're going to take the break as well, but Arkansas is once again on the move, on top 31-13 early in the second half.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by FedEx, where now meets next.
Lawrence native and former Jayhawk John Hadel passed away November 30. He was 82, all-around athlete, quarterback, halfback, led the NCAA in punting average, had a 94-yard punt. Still remains the NCAA record. Isn't that incredible? Hadel picked 10th in the NFL draft, played 16 years as a quarterback in the NFL.
And he didn't get the turf bounce on that 94-yard punt either, though. But it is great to see. I know as one of the Kansas greats, but out of practice the other day, it was great to see Lance Leipold. A lot of former Kansas players are back around the program, doing a great job building this program and getting former players back involved. And I know that was a sad loss for everybody in the Kansas nation.
Love that single bar, too. Arkansas once again trying to get into that end zone. And shoved out on the play is Rashad Dubinion, who's really been a workhorse in this game.
Yeah, and they've really gone to him with Rocket Sanders out with an ankle injury right now early in the game. He's gone to it. They're playing with two tailbacks with Rashad Dubinion and A.J. Green in the game. That they wanted to do is 24 yards on this drive, Dubinion. With the personnel they have, and they're going to keep feeding him.
And looking to punch it in again, and they do. Another touchdown here for Arkansas. Staying on the ground, Dubinion, workhorse indeed. From 2 yards, he plunges in, and Arkansas continues to lay it on.
Yeah, just the physicality up front and, breaking a tackle, but great job reaching the ball out, getting the ball into the end zone.
Yeah, with a face mask. Still get in.
And punctuate. And as we talk about Arkansas, you're going to take over the personality of your head coach. And they've done that. They are a physical group that wants to run the football. And Sam Pittman, as an offensive line coach, that's what he wants to see. He wants to see those 5 big nasties up front, knocking people off the ball and imposing your will on that defensive front.
Back in 10 seconds after this message from Ally.
The way you hope your team plays today is how confident you should feel about your savings. That's why we're all better off with an Ally. Back to you.
38-13 Arkansas. As the Razorbacks closing in on a winning record for the year. Certainly not what they wanted, to be 6-6 coming into a bowl game. Their expectations were sky high after last year, justifiably so, but today doing a lot of things very, very well, as you anticipated they would with KJ Jefferson at quarterback.
Yeah, and a couple things went wrong for Arkansas during the year. They had really the tough loss to Texas A&M with a fluke fumble play that was returned for a touchdown. Battled a tough loss to Alabama, and then the third loss in a row to Mississippi State, and had some injuries they had to deal with. But 4 of their 6 losses were by a total of 9 points, and that's tough for the team. But I think you've seen it today. They've come out and said, we're a pretty good football team. We might have some guys opting out, some guys injured, some guys going to the NFL, but we're still a good football team. Our stars are here playing, and we're going to go out and finish this year on a winning record.
Let's get on to Taylor, who caught up with Lance Leipold.
He said we need to be more balanced offensively to get back into this game. He feels like they've thrown the ball decent, but they need to run the ball. But right before the half, we saw a moment between him and his quarterback, Jalen Daniels. He told me he just told Daniels to relax, settle down, and just not press. He feels like they had a good first series, and then he started to press.
Little tap on the back of the head there for encouragement for his quarterback, Arnold. On that near sideline on the reception, McLaughlin, who already has a pick, to tie him up. Did you go into, was every bowl game a different course for you, a different set of things, missions that you wanted to accomplish?
It is. There's a lot of stages you go through in bowl games, and it's kind of changed now with early signing day and transfer portal and a lot of that. There's a lot of developmental time that went into it. But, the whole goal about a bowl game, and I always thought this, it's a reward for the players for a great year, to have a lot of fun, enjoy something, get to experience something different. But you want to go play well. And when you get to the bowl site, you tell the guys, we're here to have fun. Hey, you're here in Memphis. We're going to go out. We're going to see great things around town. Go have fun on Beale Street. But don't forget why we're here. We're here to win a football game. And every time you've won a bowl game, it just leaves it as a much better experience. And I think that's what you're seeing from Arkansas today, that they came in but you don't get to play for 9 more months. This is the last taste you have in your mouth for 9 months, and you want to make sure you're going into the offseason with momentum.
A lot of their pals are gone in the transfer portal and heading off to the NFL, but they showed up tonight. And they have a commanding lead here over Kansas. That was going to be incomplete. The toss by Daniels. That was intended for Luke Grimm, but brings up 4th down and 9.
And you can see Daniels just not comfortable, and as Coach Leipold said, wants to try to get him. He's a young quarterback to settle down. He started the season so hot, got injured, came back, and was not as consistent at the back end of the season. I think he really wants to settle him down, build up his confidence, and you can see everybody going on to him, say, hey, we believe in you, just relax. You don't have to win the game on every play. Just take what the defense gives you, relax, and let's just get settled down and get some momentum going at some point for our offense.
So Kansas punting this one. Remember the play earlier where they did not go for it on 4th down. Very short punt, and Arkansas is going to be in excellent position here. Just a 27-yard kick. Our upcoming ESPN football lineup now. Michigan taking on TCU. Georgia squares off against Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinals on Saturday. Penn State and Utah, they square off in the granddaddy of them all on Monday. And the Bills battle the Bengals. Monday Night Football, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Man,
it's going to be pretty exciting right here, this matchup. The Michigan defense, which is top 10 in almost every category around the country, but I don't think they've played an offense like TCU that has the Max Duggan to Quentin Johnson combination. Kendre Miller out of the backfield. The up-tempo they play with. I want to see how the Michigan defense handles the tempo and explosiveness of that TCU offense.
Jefferson dumping that one off for Green. Breaks one tackle. Got across the 50-yard line.
And I was excited how the playoff committee, and all the argument came out. I think we certainly have the most exciting matchups coming into it. You could have said, hey, how is this going to match up the best way possible? I think for everybody that's a fan of college football, it certainly did that, and everybody's really excited. They're going to be 2 great playoff games.
They ought to be. If I were to say to you, set Georgia aside, I know how fond you are of the Bulldogs, the SEC and everything else, and I totally agree with you there. But if it's not Georgia, who else is going to win the national championship?
If it's not Georgia, I think it's Ohio State, because I think Ohio State is going to get the momentum if they beat Georgia and knock them off the ability to go play in that national championship game. If they get the rematch against Michigan, I think the advantage then goes to Ohio State, that they have the best chance besides Georgia to end up national champs.
Flag here and a debate downstairs. We'll get the call here in a second.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 4, his first of the game, 15-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
6:29 to go in the 3rd. A little extra at the end.
Correction. The result of the play is a 3rd down. 3rd down, Arkansas.
Well, I wonder.
That's on Bryce Stevens, the wide receiver.
Yeah. Coach Pittman looked up the replay. He must have said something really mean on the field or next.
Correction. The number was 14 on offense, number 1-4, and it's his first of the game.
That becomes such a big penalty because it is an dead ball foul. So it's not just the play's over. You lose the down. Huge play here for this Kansas defense. I mean, Arkansas has gone on drives of 68, 73, 78, 80, 17, the 17 after the turnover. A long touchdown drive after a long touchdown drive. If they can get off the field here and just get that spark, they need to get the offense back out there, get a stop, and see if they can get a score.
Flag down on 3rd and 22. Jefferson stepping up. Rifles that one complete. He found backs, but there was a flag dropped.
This looks like this could be offside defense, which would give them an opportunity for another play on 3rd down. I think they lined up in the neutral zone.
Picked up 11 on the completion. And the flag came right away.
Illegal formation. Offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Now, Kansas should deny that penalty right there.
Should.
And create 4th down, yeah. They're going to change this.
Kansas has elected to decline the penalty. The result of the play is a 4th down.
So 6 minutes to go in the 3rd.
Must have called that on. If you see that look, the receiver was up. It looked like he was on the ball. They must have called the offensive line being too far off the ball.
I think that was it.
And that's what they must have called. And usually you get a warning. So they must have already warned the Arkansas sideline. Hey, you got to move the tackles up. They're too deep. And they must have gotten that warning and finally called it. Especially it came from the Kansas sideline. They're in his ear over there telling them, look, hey, they're still off the ball. You got to call that.
4th and 12, so Arkansas to punt. Got this one away and driving him back. And on the fair catch. That's where that drive will get underway. 41-yard kick.
Almost got it. Almost got it.
That's the coach.
Torrey Laughlin right there. Almost.
Yeah.
Oh, game of inches right there. It's a game of inches.
That's our stop in just about an hour in great Memphis, Tennessee. Razorbacks piling up the offense, aren't they? 471 total yards, 264 on the ground.
Yeah, it's all about the line of scrimmage. You see the run game discrepancy and the adjustments that Arkansas is playing with a 4-man front. Defensive coordinator for this game, Michael Shearer's come in, made adjustments to slow down this Kansas rushing attack. It's been the difference. And obviously the early turnovers in the game gave Arkansas the lead and kind of control of the game early. And those have been the key factors so far this game.
Sure did. Only a couple of times really has Kansas kind of poked their nose in it. Trying to climb back in now, and a completed pass to Grimm. Trying to break free, but tied up by McLaughlin and a 9-yard gain.
You also look at what they've done. Really good. Arkansas has done a great job of not giving up explosive plays. When you watch Kansas on the year, they have explosive plays down the field, whether it's in the option game, whether it's off the play action pass. And the Arkansas defense done a great job of keeping everything in front of them and making Kansas have to earn everything down the field. And they haven't been able to do that consistently all night long.
Done a good job on Devin Neal as well, who rushed for over 1,000 yards this season. Trying to muscle his way out toward the 30-yard line. Neal denied there. By the way, from my money, right at the very top as far as basketball institutions, places to go watch a college basketball game, broadcast one from both Arkansas and Kansas. Incredible environments. You can't hear yourself think most of the time. And great basketball teams.
Well, wouldn't it be great? See, they should tie those in with a bowl game. They should have brought both their basketball teams out here to play last night too.
Love that.
That would have been a great idea.
Love that idea. Oh, tough catch. Right across the middle.
And I jinxed the secondary for you right there. They've done a great job of not giving up the explosive play all night, and here we go. We dial it up with an explosive play.
Grimm goes for 34.
But a great job off the combination route. You see the corner suck up, and Jalen Daniels fires that into the hole in front of the deep third defender. Behind the flat defender, fired it in the hole on the back shoulder and allowed him to go get down the field and allowed Grimm to make the catch and have a big explosive play is what that Kansas offense needs.
Now Kansas with their biggest play of the game, getting 34 yards. Brings up first down and 10. Daniels with time. Another one complete. Fairchild trying to bust forward. Gets down to the 5-yard line.
Great patience by Jalen Daniels. Off the play action, they ran the post wheel combination. You said those post, wheel, tailback. The tight end was the 4th read in his progression right there. Great patience. Let the tight end come across late on the drag. Take what the defense gives you. Get you down into the red zone. And this is a big possession right now. As Lance Leipold knows, you're not in a panic mode. Let's get a score and see if we can make up a stop and chip away at this lead.
Daniels for the end zone, but it's going to be incomplete.
Late flag.
Yeah, there is a flag on the play. Dropped in the end zone. McLaughlin was there to cover Arnold.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball replaced at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
That's a tough call, right? I don't. They've been kind of letting them play on the perimeter a little bit today. I didn't see McLaughlin do much there. Let's see on this angle. I mean,
now move it to the 2.
A little right there. That's.
And he can't believe
it. And if I'm telling you as an offensive coach,
that one really sticks.
Sam's not happy with that one.
First and goal. Thomas gets in for a touchdown. Thomas from 2 yards out. And Kansas showing some life here.
Well, I think that was a big drive for them. We said they've been lacking the explosive play all day long. We saw 2 explosive plays on that drive right there. It can build a little bit of momentum. Now, We know Arkansas's really controlled the game offensively all night long at the line of scrimmage, but they're a big play away from their defense from being right back in this game.
And the extra point is good. So Kansas with a heartbeat here, 38-20. They're not dead and gone yet with 3:15 to go in the third. And Arkansas will require an answer. Nice drive here for the Jayhawks.
Well, it was a huge drive for them, and the patience of what they did with the drive to stick with the run, and that's going to keep opening up pass games. But the great back shoulder throw by Jalen Daniels right there, put it in the back shoulder, allows his receiver to go make a catch to get down the field. Then the play action and the patience, great protection. He's able to get to the fourth read in his progression. To Mason Fairchild, the tight end, takes it down to the 5. And then the ability up front. They haven't run the ball great all night, but to finish it at the line of the scrimmage, the great finish on the run to get it into the end zone. That is going to build some momentum for this team. And as we said right now, they come out, they need a big play to come. They need a turnover. They almost had a block punt the last time out. They need one more big play from special teams or defense. You're going to see the last thing Arkansas talked about is everybody, you see them uptight, get uptight and look for the surprise onside kick right now, because this is the time when you're thinking, hey, we need some momentum. If you have one, you're going to roll it out right now, but that's what Arkansas, all the coaches just told them, look for the onside kick right here. But if you have a surprise onside, this is the time to use it.
So Tabor Allen to kick off now for Kansas. And Lowe, that's going to skip and into the end zone. So out it comes to the 25-yard line. Let's get out to Taylor.
Well, Kansas certainly looking for some momentum here. This is when you lean on your leaders, and that for Kansas is middle linebacker Rich Miller. He is the guy leading the charge here on this sideline, really firing guys up. I'm finally seeing smiles from Kansas's defense. It's been a long time since I've seen any, but you can feel the momentum starting to shift a little bit. Certainly, they know they have a long way to go, but that last play for their offense certainly set the tone now for their defense.
Of course, Arkansas has been able to counter that. A couple of momentum spurts there by Kansas throughout the game. Turnovers were very big in that regard very early for the Razorbacks as they piled up a significant lead. They'll stay on the ground again on the first carry by Dominion on this.
Right on cue, Rich Miller stepped up, and that's just as Taylor said, when you need it, your defense, when you need your leader to step up, this is the time we need you. The offensive guys, everybody's saying, hey, let's go make the plays. You need your leader to step up, and Rich Miller did, getting the stop on first down, great second and long.
Captain, the senior from Detroit. And second down 10 for the Razorbacks. And Jefferson again behind the controls. Trying to get their offense in gear once again. Dominion with no place to go. And Kansas with the defense stiffening up here.
They are, and they're trying it. You're right there. You see it. You see the players getting excited, getting fired up, trying to get this crowd into this huge Kansas crowd that traveled here. Excited about football for the first time in 12 years. Getting them on their feet to make some noise. Huge third down here. Huge momentum play to try to get the stop, get off the field, get that explosive offense the ball.
Third down for KJ Jefferson. With a great big first half. That one's going to be broken up. Now he was trying to hit Landers, but Kobe Bryant, first team All Big 12, got away.
When you want your stars right there, you said it. As Taylor said, they came out, they need Rich Miller in there to step up to lead the defense. He starts it on first down. Your All Big 12 corner, Kobe Bryant, they try to go throw at him. He steps up, makes the play on third down. You get a stop, you get off the field, you have momentum coming on your side. We get that offense back out, looking to make some big plays.
Max Fletcher to punt. The freshman who began the year as the #1 guy, then Reed Bauer took over, and he has since transferred out of the program. And on the bounder, Burrows will watch that one roll. Keep on rolling. And a 37-yarder. Kobe Bryant back on September 10, running back a pick six in OT to give Kansas a victory over West Virginia. October the 1st, Chase Gilbert pulling a 37-yard field goal in the final minute. Kansas survived 14-11. And November 5, Devin Neal, 334 total yards And a touchdown. Kansas topping Oklahoma State 37-16 to reach their first bowl game since 2008.
And they're on their feet. There's not a Kansas fan sitting down on the ground in the whole stadium right there. They're looking for the excitement. Here it comes.
Came in great numbers and a big connect down that left sideline. And that one complete on a 29-yard gain. Got that one to Torrey Lachlan.
And a great job sneaking out of the backfield. And you see the corner right there. Took his eyes off. Quincy McAdoo's had a great game. He took his eyes off, redirecting the receiver, lost the back coming out of the backfield on the wheel route. Another explosive play for this Kansas offense.
Minute and a half to go here in the third.
And here they go to the bag of, they've got both quarterbacks in the game right here. Let's see if they go to the bag of tricks right here.
Daniels and Bean.
There's the double pass.
Bean to throw long. Down the side, and it's going to be incomplete. Wanted Lachlan again on the trick play, and it nearly worked.
And we saw that practice. They wanted to play. They were going to do some stuff. Bean did an unbelievable job this year when Jalen Daniels went down, coming in to fill in, and he's an exciting player. We knew they were going to do some stuff, winding him up at some receiver, and you saw it right here. They had it set up. They had him open. Arkansas reacts to it well, and he just overthrows him by a step on the explosive play.
Second down 10. Neal to the center. Not a whole lot of room there for Devin Neal. The 5'11" sophomore, a 3-yard gain.
But you're definitely in 4-down territory here right now. And as a play caller, you know that in your head. You're not going field. You're not thinking field goal right now. We need some touchdowns to get back into this game. So right now you're knowing we have 2 downs to get this, and everyone needs to be on the same page. Don't be afraid to run it. Don't be afraid to scramble. Don't be afraid to throw it away. We don't have to make the play on this play. We have 2 downs here to get it.
From the Arkansas 32, Neal and Lachlan are the running backs. Daniels will flare it out here once again to Lachlan. Lachlan busting a couple of tackles on a solid effort, and will move the sticks, and a 10-yard gain.
Great job. Little easy screen pass, flip it out. Keep the quarterback confident right here. Good, nice easy throw. It's on an extended handoff out there to the outside. Receivers do a good job blocking in front of him. Move the chains, get a first down.
Clock running. Last seconds of the third.
They're just trying to draw him offside, see if they could get a free play right there before the quarter ran out.
And that's the end
of the third quarter.
Of the third. Well, Arkansas suddenly backing up. Kansas fans excited about this. They're back in the game. Arkansas leading 38-20 on to the fourth. Fourth quarter coming up. What's at stake for Kansas? Well, the first bowl win since 2008 would be in order. First winning season since 08. The fifth win against a Power 5 program this season, 5 total. In the previous 5 seasons combined, it would be quite a come from behind win.
It'd be a huge come from behind win and a huge uplifter to the program. But you know what? I think they've seen, and the players starting to believe. You see the energy they had going down in the fourth quarter. All the fans on their feet, they're Kansas fans. They're believing in this program again, and that's what the effect that Lance Leipold has had and his ability as a winner. Winners win, and that's what he's brought, that winning attitude here to Kansas.
First down from the 22. Daniels throwing, and incomplete. Double coverage down in the corner as he was looking for his wide receiver, Tanaka Scott.
Great recovery by Dwight McGlothern right there from Arkansas. He had him early, and Daniels was a little bit late with the throw. You read that play on the 3 verticals, inside out. It was a little late to the outside throw, and McGlothern was able to make up ground and make the play on the ball before it got there.
Second down 10 for Daniels. Trying to break through a hole. He's taken down, get inside the 20-yard line. And Chris Paul with the stop, but a 4-yard pickup.
And again, we haven't seen as much of the option game as I thought we would tonight from Kansas out on the perimeter. Arkansas has done a pretty good job defending it every time they've run it. but it still makes the defense have to play honest anytime you're going to run option football.
Arkansas fans looking for the stop here in the early
Man-to-man coverage.
Here's Daniels throwing again. His receiver went down, incomplete. It was Luke Grimm, the man he was trying to hit, but he went down.
They're going to kick the field goal here. They're down 3 scores, so you need to get 3. You see, you have man-to-man coverage. Tried to run it on a little pivot route. Ugh. McGlothern got away with a little bit of a hold there. He got called for the PI early. That was questionable,
right.
and he got away with that one. A little bit of a hold coming out of the break right there.
Keeper Gertis on with a 37-yard attempt. He's 6'6" freshman. Trying to draw Kansas a little bit closer here.
3-score game, you cut it down to 11. Now it's a 2-score game here in the fourth quarter. Your defense played with some momentum, stopped them at a 3-and-out the last drive, and keeping the fans, keeping everybody excited. It's going to be an exciting fourth quarter.
38-23. Hey, coming up on Saturday, we bring back the MegaCast for both the CFP semifinals. So many ways to watch. What is your favorite?
You know what? And on that, I'm usually watching the main telecast. I'll listen to you know, our announcers call it. Every once in a while, I don't mind going to the all 22. For me as a coach, that all 22 angle, I can really see that. It's fun being up here in the box. You can see everything going on and all 22 guys out there on the field. That's a lot of fun out there. The command center, if you haven't watched that, that's something I learned this year. I got to go into the command center over in Bristol just on a Saturday to watch how crazy it all goes, all the different angles, so much goes in.
I'll tell you what I love.
Learned a lot about TV.
As an old broadcaster, I love tuning in on the hometown radio, you know, like the Georgia radio broadcast. That's gold for me. And you can learn so much that maybe you didn't know before going to the bowl game. So 14:07 to go here in the fourth. 38-23 Arkansas.
It's like our old Red Sox broadcast that I used to listen to you on the radio on.
Right. You are an old Sox guy. Old Manchester, New Hampshire guy. How about that out of New England?
We have to watch ourselves down south here right there. We're too young.
I know it. Yep. Into the end zone. And out to the 25 it comes. So we'll see what Arkansas has for an answer in the third. They stalled a little bit.
And it's big now. Arkansas, though, and they've been successful running the ball all night. They're not going to change that. They're going to try to put a good drive together, run the ball here, and eat some clock, and really almost demoralize and take the momentum right back from Kansas. But the Kansas fans now, they're going to come alive. They're feeling it. They're feeling the energy. This is their time to go make a play.
Again, Arkansas without their leading running back. He's barely played tonight. Rocket Sanders out with an ankle injury. Will not return. Just a handful of touches for him before the injury. So Jefferson making a move here across the 35-yard line. Stopped by Caleb Sampson. And nice gain of 11.
Yeah, and they run the quarterback counter right there. They fake it to the back, running out of the backfield. And if you see how they go with the 2 backs, a 20 personnel we call it. He fakes the pitch, and then the guard and tackle pull around, leading for him on the quarterback counter play on the gap scheme run.
Yeah, to keep this one on the ground. And outside for A.J. Green before he's knocked down by Kobe Bryant. Gain of 7.
Kell's done a great job, and I'll tell you what, you start taking weapons away from him, but the sign of a great coach is you put your players in position to make plays. It's not about this system that you have. It's your system being able to adjust to the personnel you have and put your players in position to make plays. And Kendall's done that. They've done that. And I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with A.J. Green and Rashad Binion tonight, the 2 other running backs that have come out with receivers out of the game. They haven't played 20 personnel with 2 tailbacks all year. You want to do that in this game, and then your star tailback goes out. But he's stuck with it, and he's done a great job of adjusting and calling plays to the strengths of his players.
A timeout, Kansas. And they have a man down with 13:01 to go in the fourth.
This is going to be a big third down play here.
Tommy Dunn, the 6'3" defensive tackle, down. We'll be back with more in a moment. AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis. We've had plenty of scoring, and still you've got 13 minutes to go, 38-23, but they want more points.
Huge third down right here for this Kansas defense. And, you know, they get off the field. They have some momentum. Their offense, some explosive plays the last couple of drives. The opportunity to get this down to a one-score game. If they get the ball back and get the stop, this is a huge third down for their defense.
The most important moment tonight, frankly, for either side.
Interesting here. So Arkansas is staying in the huddle as the play clock's running down right now. So what they're going to do is try to disguise the formation. They might break the huddle late to try to disguise a formation so that they can't make a check or anything on the Kansas defense.
Stevens in motion. On the ground again. The quarterback will flip this one short. Off to Dubinion. A flag is dropped as he drove it all the way down to the 25-yard line, but it was a flag on the play.
It's going to be offensive pass interference. It was a zone read play that KJ Jefferson kept it and then saw the one guy that saw his lead back go down the field. You see the receiver blocking out there in the flat. So I think the receiver thought KJ was going to run it, and he threw it late. Let's see.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Beat third down.
Exactly right, Coach.
Yeah, and you'll see right here, it's a zone read play, and they're going to run a rollout kind of naked. And what the play's designed is, you see the receiver blocking to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And when Dubinion didn't get it behind the line of scrimmage, he turned up. But the receiver was blocking, and so as when the ball was thrown across the line of scrimmage, becomes offensive pass interference. If it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it's a screen, and it's legal to block downfield when the receiver catches the ball.
All the way back to their own 29. 3rd and 17 for Arkansas. Their offense, which is so smooth early in the game, through the first half, has been pretty choppy since then. Here's Jefferson to go airborne. A lot of pressure, got it off, got a complete pass to Hudson Henry, busting a couple of tackles close to the 40-yard line, got 10 back, and brings up 4th down.
And you saw Lonnie Phelps has been getting pressure on him all night, coming off that edge, the best pass rusher for Kansas, but he's not been able to get KJ Jefferson down on the ground. KJ sliding up in the pocket, great movement, his strength and ability to break tackles to keep plays alive. It's been huge, but huge for the Kansas defense. A chance to put that offense back on the field, create some more explosive plays, and get this cut down to a one-score game.
And still with a lot of time to go, over 11 minutes. Burrows back to receive the kick. And he's going to let that one take a hop. And will be down right there by Arkansas. 44-yard punt. So we'll see what is up the sleeve of the junior out of Lawrence, Jalen Daniels.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, he struggled early in the game, and Lance Leipold said, we're going to stick with you, calm down, relax, and he's done that. You see him with the arm strap, be able to put the ball on a line in front of the DB, get into his 4th progression in the read, right here to the tight end, and his patience, not getting flustered. His ability off the play action pass to sit down and drop the touch pass over the top. He's shown he's a complete player right there. He's one of the most exciting players in college football. As we said earlier, these two quarterbacks are certainly going to be in the Heisman conversation next year.
Going long on the throw, but it's going to be incomplete. And looking for his wide receiver, Tanaka Scott, but pretty good coverage by Clark and McLaughlin. And look at the first and second half difference for him.
Yeah, and it's the interceptions. You know, I think he was throwing the ball, making some plays in the first half, but he threw some bad balls on the interceptions right there. And that's not what we've seen from here in the second half. He's playing with a lot more confidence here in the second half in delivering the ball. which is hard on young quarterbacks sometimes. When you throw those interceptions, sometimes you get a little gun shy. You're not going to try to rip it in there, and it's great to see. He's still firing away and trying to put that ball in tight spaces.
Ty Thomas is running back on 2nd down 10. Daniels on a handoff, a delay there, but nothing doing. And that one broken up by Arkansas. They snuffed that one out. They're going to lose 4 yards.
Can't say enough about this Arkansas defense tonight and their ability to stop in the run. That Michael Scherer comes in and he's adjusted the defense down. Ooh, he got away with a little tripping right there. That could have been that's a penalty right there. Should have been called. Bryce Stevens got the leg out there and tripped him, and that should have been called there by the officials. They missed that call.
3rd down. Inside the 5. Daniels. And off the hands of his intended receiver, Fairchild. Could not make the catch. So 4th down and 14. And Kansas has to punt.
And that's what you want from your defense. And a young D coordinator calling a game for the first time. Get his defense ready to play. Momentum's going against you, and the defense comes out, gets a 3-and-out.
And Arkansas
excited, fired up for his guys on the sidelines, making the adjustments, and really seizing momentum back. That's a huge stop. Not just getting off the field, creating the 3-and-out, but really flipping field position right here and keeping Kansas pinned deep. You're going to put your offense in position and have great field position on this possession.
Stevens coming up. We'll watch that one bounce. Going to keep on rolling. And took a pretty healthy bounce to the 35-yard line. That's a 53-yard kick.
Got to field that. You got to field the punt, though. You have to catch them. One of the biggest things is guys catching punts, field it, and don't give them that cheap yardage.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, Monday night, both teams headed down to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Professional Rodeo at the Agri-Center Showplace Arena. Performers from around the country competed in bull riding, steer wrestling, and barrel racing. Lance getting into it, too.
They've been out at the Yellowstone Club up there, right? Ranch right there.
Having a blast.
Costner down there on the sidelines. Somewhere.
Big old 10-gallon hat. So 9:49 to go. And Kansas trying to hang in there. Arkansas back with the football from the 35-yard line. And once again, using that ground game, Dubinion with the carry. With a stop by Lonnie Phelps.
If you're Arkansas here, you're gonna watch. You're gonna try to power run this, and I'd watch for them in this drive coming up here. Maybe really know that Kansas got to commit now. They have got to get off the field. They have got to stop the run. Arkansas is going to use some clock, but watch them to take that play action shot down the field and try to put the game away and call checkmate.
Kendall Briles winding down that clock. 2nd down and 5 coming up now for the Razorbacks. A.J. Jefferson, very impressive first half in particular. As he moves it ahead 3 more yards. And a stop by Taiwan Berryhill. Razorbacks got as high as number 10 in the national poll this season after starting out 3-0. Some really good early wins. Beat a top 25 team in Cincinnati. Beat a very good South Carolina team.
Absolutely. I mean, the win over Ole Miss was a dominating win.
Eventually we lose 3 in a row.
Up Kansas.
3rd down 2.
This is one here. They took a lot of time here. I think there was probably some discussion. I think Kendall maybe wanted to take this shot right here down the field on this play and got talked out of it.
Snap went right to Dubinion. And the Kansas fans love the result there as they stack him up. And got nothing.
Oh, that's one of those situations where we're saying it's a great shot right there. Kansas, they got to make the play right now. And you can say, we're going to win the play on this one game. And that late sub, you saw him late sub into the game right there. So there was some thought, which one did I think they wanted to do? Do we want to take the shot or we want to try to power run to get the first? They don't get the first. Great stop by the Kansas defense. Give this offense one more chance to cut this to a one-score game.
I would say another really good defensive series for Kansas. They've had a number of those in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So they hang around in the game. Burrows will take the fair catch right there.
Timeout on the field.
So the Jayhawks with it. 38-23 Arkansas.
Back in our college football studio, updating you on the Holiday Bowl. Oregon scored on their first possession. Here comes Drake May to Andre Green. Good throw, good catch, tied at 7 apiece. Coming up, 9 p.m. Eastern, Tax Act Texas Bowl. Quinshon Judkins, superstar true freshman for Ole Miss, getting set to take on Texas Tech. That coming up right here at 9 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. Guys?
Matt, thank you very much. Drake May, he is special. Well, both of those quarterbacks are really special.
You know, I mean, we talk about these two quarterbacks in this game being Heisman contenders next year. Those two, Bo Nix and Drake May, certainly are going to be in that conversation as well as next year gets started.
So 1st and 10 for Kansas, trailing 38-23. Jalen Daniels with time in the pocket. He's going to throw that one complete here on the near sideline. Right on the money to Scott. Let's get on to Taylor.
Well, you can tell Jalen Daniels being aggressive here. That was the message to KU receivers as they came back onto the field. It's time to take shots, be smart, be ready. Dan Mullen, you've been in these situations before. You have to be aggressive.
You do, and you have to get the first score before you get the second. So it's not panic mode. It's not just bombs away. But it's just, you can see there, we're going to say, hey, let's get ready because we're going to mix it up, but be ready. We're going to take some deeper throws down the field. And you saw that on the first play. Great combination route. And look for that shot down the field.
Then 4 yards to Fairchild, shorter on the second one. Daniels going to step up and use those legs. Took a pretty good pop. Yeah, he did by Chris Paul. And you're going to feel that.
Big hit right there. But as you saw, the quarterback draw right there. You're sitting there because you know Arkansas knows, hey, we got to take some shots. Let's not just go bombs away, keep it balanced. I always say this, you need 2 scores. Well, you have to get the first before you can get the second. So we don't have to panic. Let's take our time, make sure we get the first. We have 3 timeouts. We've played some good defense. We can't be slow, but we have to get this first score, and let's execute, but be ready to take a shot if they give us one.
Daniels just took a shot, showed you some, got right back up. That's going to be complete to Grimm. And that's going to pick up 5 yards for Kansas. He's stopped by both Paul and McLaughlin.
So is it a design quarterback draw right here? Oh. Paul got him low and McLaughlin got him up high. Big hit right there.
Threw behind his receiver there and incomplete. That was Devin Neal. He wanted to hit, but right behind him.
A little miscommunication on that play right there. They're trying to create against man coverage. A little pick for Devin Neal out of the backfield. The linebacker chases over the top, and you can see Jalen Daniels saw that, so he was trying to back shoulder him. And Devin Neal's got to realize the backer went deep. I got to look for the ball short and quick. In that situation, they just weren't on the same page.
3rd down and 5 for Kansas.
2 down territory here, though. They got 2 downs to get this.
Daniels throws out into the flat. Got that one to Thomas. Thomas to the sideline. And a 6-yard gain that will move the chains.
Great block here by the receiver. You see right there in a rolled up corner, cover 2 corner, is allowed to try to go spike that and make that play. And Tanaka Scott with a great block to seal that on the perimeter.
Daniels diving down, lost the football. It was a fumble. Able to dive back on top of that. The Kansas Jayhawks. And that would have ended any continuing threat right away had they given the ball up there.
As you're in that pocket, any young quarterback, keep that front hand on the ball when you're moving around the pocket. You always want to keep 2 hands on the ball. There's hands coming that you don't see in strip. As you're shifting, as you're moving in the pocket, don't be patting it, juicing it up. Keep that front hand on the ball to keep it secure while you're in the when you're in the pocket.
2nd down, 13. Daniels needs a big play. 3 wideouts to his left. He's looking that way. On the move again. Daniels goes airborne. Oh, what a tough catch. Big catch on that play. That was Lawrence Arnold for a 13-yard pickup.
And he's their big guy at 6'3", 200 pounds. Great job by Jalen Daniels. He scrambles out to his left. That's where all the receivers, the route combination was. Jalen Daniels running a dig. He turns it back to the outside to get in phase with his quarterback.
Picked up the first, a bobble, and that one is deflected as they went for the end zone and Lawrence Arnold. But Arkansas shuts him down with McGlothern, who's so tough. McGlothern, who has 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah, he's their top cover corner right there. He's got great size. It's a transfer from LSU. He's the guy that they depend on at 6'2". He can match up with the big receivers with everybody else. You see, they're letting them get away with some physicality out there on the perimeter. And you know what? They've done it all night and let them get away with it. What you want is you just want consistency so you know how they're going to call the game.
Empty backfield here once again.
Confusion for the Arkansas defense.
Going for the end zone and incomplete. Looking for the big strike and Luke Grimm, but too far.
And what they did, they got the matchup. They started in a condensed formation and then broke everybody out to create a matchup you wanted. You got Luke Grimm on the matchup you wanted in the secondary, and he just off his fingertips. He ran the inside fade and just off his fingertips, and that's why you see these shifts in motions. And why do you do it? You're doing it to create advantageous matchups, to try to hide one of your receivers and get the matchup that you want against the defense. Try to get away from McGlothern a little bit and take a matchup away from him.
3rd and 10. Staying on the ground once again. Neal to carry. And a gain of 4 yards for Devin Neal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here on that, you know, and people wonder, like, why are you doing that play right there? Well, you know you're in 4-down territory. You have 3rd down and 10, and see if you can either catch them in a blitz where there's a seam comes open, you catch them dropping back into coverage, and you hit it, you cut it in half. You get half the yards on 3rd down to make it 4th and manageable here at 4th down and 5. A lot of people don't like that, but that's why you're doing it as a coach, to get it to a 4th and manageable right here. You like your play calls on 4th and 5. Watch the blitz here from Arkansas, see if they come after it.
Daniels with time, gonna run and throw. It's tipped and it's gonna be incomplete. And Arkansas buckles down again on defense, and a tip by Jackson Woodard, a linebacker for the Razorbacks, to knock it away.
And he had his receiver, he had his tight end behind him. What a great play by Jackson Woodard. They bluffed the blitz and bailed out. See, Jalen Daniels scrambling, just gets a tip on it. He had his tight open, Trevor Cardell open right behind him. Game-saving play right there for the Arkansas defense. They're going to try to run out the clock here and power football.
Matt Berry back in our college football studio. Cannot wait to see Joey McGuire, Texas Tech, take on Ole Miss coming up at 9:10 p.m. Eastern. And as Dan Mullen knows, the last few minutes of this game are crucial. Will there be a Phil show? Find out next.
That's why we're on the edge of our seat. Thank you, Matt. No question.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know those guys in the studio, they're looking at Coach Pittman right here, and they know what they want. If there's going to be no Phil, we're going to roll into the next game. He's going to finish this game with his offensive line and run out the clock right here.
Well, that's what Arkansas has in mind with 3:52 remaining in the contest on a 1st down and 10.
Throw out here. They're not covering the receivers.
Again, staying on the ground, which was such a huge part of Arkansas' success when they won games this year. Hey, don't forget to head over to the ESPN app after the game for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Trophy presentation. Coverage begins immediately after the contest.
The great Liberty Bowl trophy right there. That's heavy. I've held it up before. That is not a light trophy right there.
You have held it because you're the winning coach in this game.
Oh, yeah.
You get one of those babies, right?
You know, one of the great things the Liberty Bowl does is they present the winning coach with much smaller version, but a carved wooden replica trophy as the winning coach, because you know it's a pretty cool little little memory. It was a great day for us up here. It was a tough year. We came back to win the Egg Bowl in overtime to get bowl eligible, came in, won the game, and it really kicked off. So we talk about bowl games can really kick off the next season. It was a cold night, but I'll tell you what, that no matter how cold it is, that Gatorade bath is certainly refreshing. Dak Prescott, that was really a big coming out party for him leading into the huge junior year and where he became a household name.
3 touchdowns and 2 on the ground as you guys routed Rice 44-7.
And then headed down to Beale Street, right? From the celebration afterwards.
Why wouldn't you?
It was
32nd time.
You know, and when you win a bowl game, and everybody here, you've heard me say, you have a long time till you play again. And that win really catapulted the team into 2014, the next year, where we ended up getting all the way up to number 1 in the college football playoff poll. And it does so much, and it's going to be interesting. Arkansas coming back next year. I know they're tough. They've lost some players. They've done this, but they have their star power coming back. And with Rocket Sanders, KJ Jefferson, I'll tell you what, the young running backs tonight have looked fantastic.
Really have.
Out here on the field. And I know the expectations. And when you're at Arkansas, the expectations are huge for this team. Yep. And so their fan base is going to sit there, have big expectations this year, bigger next year. And you look at their schedule next year, very manageable. First 3 games at home. The deal's going to be they have some tough road games going to LSU, to Ole Miss, to Alabama, and to Florida. But a manageable schedule the rest of the way. And in the SEC, it's all about what you do. You have to win at home in the SEC. You got to win your home games, and then you go steal some on the road, and all of a sudden you're competing for the championship.
You know, we were talking to Sam Pittman this week, and there were times he was a little bit down, which is against his regular personality. He's a very upbeat guy. They're going to try and air this one out, and complete for a big gainer. Arkansas with a major strike there, going downfield to Landers.
And that's we've talked about it. Said, hey, they're gonna commit everybody up to the run. Watch for them to take a shot to kind of call checkmate to put this game around away. What does KJ Jefferson do? They max protect, take a shot to your go-to guy, Matt Landers at 6'5". Put it up there for him. He boxes out the DB, makes the catch. And it really, on that play, almost put this game on ice here for Arkansas.
Yeah, 43 yards with that one.
And you see Landers, he was a guy they're going to count on coming into this game. And you've seen some other receivers come out tonight. Bryce Stevens, I think, has had a really nice night for him. But he was their guy that was their guy they were going to count on. And you see his 2 catches for over 100 yards. He's made the big plays and explosive plays when they've needed him.
Dubinion
Kansas
pushed back by Caleb Sampson.
It's a 30-second timeout.
The 6'3", 300-pound senior. Kansas will burn another one. Another timeout here. It is time now to crown our Capital One player of the game. It is KJ Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback.
And, you know, and one of the things he's done such a great job of this year is improving his pass game. You see that very efficient 16 of 24, over 200 yards passing. But I'm going to tell you what, some of the things, though, that has made him player of the game is when he's gone complete beast mode on people. See him here with the great touch pass to Landers on the early touchdown. The double screen, finding the touch down the middle with his arm. But when he's gone beast mode on people, right here, that's where it is. Breaking 1 tackle, 2 tackles, diving into the end zone. That's what makes him so tough, because you have to defend him, because he's really improved as a passer. And that's what's going to make him special next year. He can beat you with his arm throwing the ball, but he can run between the tackles. He can break tackles in the pocket, get plays alive, keep his eyes downfield, which is the most important thing for quarterbacks, is when you scramble, don't scramble to run, scramble to throw and keep your eyes, because that's where explosive plays come. And that's what he does.
You said earlier tonight, talking about a guy you're not surprised if he's mentioned as a Heisman candidate next year.
No, because he does it all. You look at the numbers tonight.
Little razzle-dazzle here.
And LeBron's going to stay aggressive.
Landers staying on his feet, got inside the 20, and now they're going to give it away. Turned over. A fumble picked up by Kansas. Kobe Bryant. Bryant eventually taken down after the turnover, so a little excitement late in this one.
A fumble recovered by the defense.
I'll tell you what,
1st and 10, Kansas.
We're going to replay it, see if this is a fumble or not.
Yep, lost it there.
I don't see a lot on that angle right there that could make you overturn this call. Let's see here. No. Again, there's sometimes on these calls,
Marvin Grant
you don't
forcing
get
the
an
fumble.
angle to see if he was down or not. Let's see if the ball, he's down. I think they're going to overturn this. I think his
Officials
elbow hit
timeout
right there.
for an injured player.
I think his elbow hit right there to cause the fumble. They saw that angle.
Yeah, it's Bryant who is down all the way on the opposite side of the field. The man who scooped it up and in some pain, the sophomore from Evergreen, Alabama.
Yeah, the Kansas team's going to keep battling. Right when we said, like, hey, that looks like it. That was the play. Arkansas got aggressive and almost like too cute right there. A little bit, you know. I mean, Kansas was out of timeouts. I mean, you can almost eat up the rest of the clock at that point, and the game's over. All you can't do is turn the ball over, and you kind of go on the reverse and give it to a receiver out in the open field like that. Not used to carrying the ball.
The previous play of a fumble recovered by the defense is under further review.
Was a 36-yard return of the fumble, but we'll see if it is upheld or not.
Yeah, and I think on this angle, you're going to see right here, it looks like when his arm hits, the ball comes out. The question is it coming loose beforehand at all? It doesn't look like it. But is that enough to overturn it? And that's one of the things that comes up. That has to be definitive evidence that he was in complete control when that arm hit the ground.
Right, because the call is made on the field.
And it looks like he was in that to me. But just because it looks like it doesn't mean that's the call. The call in the field was a fumble. So
David Lambros, our replay official, taking a look at this as you thought they might. 2:43 to go. So, you know, you talk about a team eyeing a possible comeback regardless of how much time is on the clock. Turnovers have a way of dictating that, don't they?
Absolutely. And turnovers been a huge factor in this game, as the turnovers, the 3 turnovers in the first half by Kansas, allowing Arkansas to take that lead early in the game and really kind of control the game and make Kansas have to play from behind the rest of the night has been huge.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by the defense stands. 1st and 10, Kansas.
And that's the tricky one, is, as we said, I think he had control right there, but it has to be definitive evidence. And I don't know that was definitive enough evidence. And I know Sam Pittman certainly thinks it was definitive enough evidence, and he's not going to be very pleased with this call
No, but
what's going on.
It is the very reason why it was not overturned.
And it's frustrating as a coach, because you're saying, hey, what, you know, they want the plays to play out and replay to overturn it, but you don't always get the camera angle you want. And Kansas automatically given life here.
And what a cheer went up by the Jayhawk faithful here at the Liberty Bowl. And a dart there down to the tight end Fairchild by Jalen Daniels, is stopped by Blair. Time a factor, of course, now. And then 1st down and 10. Daniels off the fake, across the 30, and out he goes.
This is interesting here, and you just see it from Michael Scheer, the D coordinator. You know, they've been a big rush 3, drop 8. Now, I know their depth in the secondary is really short coming into this game, but they're sticking with it. They're playing 4 down, some base quarters coverage on the back end, and that's going to leave some guys open right now, and they're going to give an opportunity for Kansas to get a shot down the field.
Brim with a catch. Been a busy receiver here in the second half. Blair with another tackle, but coming up on 2 minutes to go at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And Kansas all out of timeouts. They burned 3 quick ones. They will pick up a first there on the carry.
The clock will stop briefly with a 1st down, but they got to kind of hustle, get back up on the ball. You want to get this first score. On the sidelines, they're getting the special teams, they're getting the onside kick team ready.
Daniels flushed down, and down he goes. He's sacked on the play. Jordan Dominic.
That's their sack leader. on the season. The Arkansas defense had 39 sacks on the year, one of the top teams in the country. Jordan Dominic with 7.5 tackles for loss and 6.5 sacks on the year. He's a guy, this is the situation he's made for at 6'3", 250. Game on the line, rush the passer.
Lost 9, Daniels. Scampering, a flag thrown behind him as he fires that one incomplete, but a flag is dropped.
It's going to be a holding right here up front on the offensive line.
Now pressure by Landon Jackson, the defensive end, 6'7", 275. Just a shoe issue here for Daniels.
And interesting, I see Arkansas push him back.
Holding. Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It's not as much the downs, it's the yardage. Keep pushing him as far away as possible. And you can see it, he's holding the ball. When you're holding the ball that long, as he gets beat, just yanks him back down there to the ground.
Mike Nowitzki. So an obvious hold. So second down.
And forever.
And 29.
But you have 3 downs to get 29 yards. You don't have to get it all right here.
But going in the wrong direction. Daniels backing up to the 50, throws over the middle and complete. Big catch on the play. Down to the 10-yard line goes Kevin Terry. For 30 yards.
Or get it all on one.
All on one. And into the red zone.
Right there. What a great throw by Jalen Daniels. Hanging in the pocket to the last minute, giving his receiver time to get down the field on the deep dig route.
Daniels wants the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas. Doug Million with a touchdown grab. But what a series by Daniels.
What a great series. And you saw it right there, the decisiveness. Got the ball out quick. A little blown coverage there by the secondary of Arkansas. They went 3-by-1 and they let the number 2 receiver get up the seam, and they got to carry him up that seam. They let him go clean into the end zone.
So the freshman, Beeper Gertis on for the kick.
Well, see, this is interesting. You kick here, you're going to have to get a 2-point conversion once to tie the game.
And he will drill that.
So people say, why don't you go for 2 right there? Well, you know what? You have momentum. Don't miss it and then be down 2 scores with a minute to go. Let's try to get the onside kick. Keep the momentum on our side, because if we score again, everything's on our side, and we'll make the 2-point conversion to send it over.
That penalty's declined. The result of the play is the try.
So Liberty Bowl record. Look at this: 31 for 47 for Daniels, 440 yards. Here are the last couple of passes. These were beauties.
That was a great job. Watch him slide in the pocket, buy time, hits the receiver on his dig down the middle. A great job. And then this one, looking off, quick seam, doesn't wait, puts it right on money. A little blown coverage right here. Sherrod knows it. You know, they're a little bit different. They're learning some new coverages, some new guys in on the secondary. Gave him that, and then there was a penalty.
There was a flag there, an onside kick obviously coming here. So 38-30.
They must have picked it up.
I think they did pick it up.
There's no penalty. Okay.
With 1:05 remaining. Remember, Kansas is totally out of timeouts.
Well, these situations come in. You say you don't need it till you need it.
Right.
And this is when you need it. You practice the onside kick team all year round. You practice the hands team all year round. Both teams, you get in these situations. You don't need it till you need it, and right now they need it. And see who's going to make the play.
The junior from Mansfield, Texas, Tabor Allen, for the onside kick.
Great bounce.
Takes a bounce. Kansas jumps on it. Kansas jumping on it. They've got the football. Kenny Logan got there.
You don't need it till you need it, and at that moment you got to come out and execute it perfectly. Perfect execution of the onside kick.
Oh, that's perfection.
And you see right here, right in the little gap, Arkansas is going to block. They're going to block guys, and the deep guys got to come up and recover it.
Clock
but
operator.
the ball kind of
Reset the game clock
died
to 1 minute and
on
5
him,
seconds.
and it's kind of
1:05.
sat in that area. And it was Matt Landers, the big receiver that's waiting for that big bounce. They kind of slow rolled it between them, and we got ourselves a ball game.
At the 50-yard line, trailing 38-30. What a comeback here for the Jayhawks. And Daniels trying to get it to the end zone again. With about a minute to go, back to throw, looking downfield. He's going to throw it, and that one's going to be caught. Caught by Grimm. And a huge first down. The magic in the air here in Memphis for Kansas at the end of the game, and they're going wild here.
And these Kansas fans been loyal. They've stuck with their team all night long. There's no one on there, no one sitting down in the stadium right now.
Daniels again,
Back shoulder.
for the end zone, incomplete.
Went for the back shoulder fade right there into the end zone.
Looking for Arnold. McAdoo.
Really good cut. McAdoo's had a really good night in the secondary. Right there to make that play on the back end. No pass interference.
Kansas was down 25 when the score was 38-13. And they're still alive. Driving for the end zone. Less than a minute. Daniels has been spectacular here in the final quarter. On the move again. Daniels flips it incomplete. And 46 seconds to play here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. What a finish in this one.
What an exciting game. This is what makes bowl season great. You have two teams haven't played since 1906, coming right down to the final whistle.
Kansas was counted out of this game about 7 times.
Yeah, and you know what? And they kept hanging in there. You heard Lance Leipold say, "Hey, we're not going to panic. We're going to stick. We're going to run. Keep doing things. Keep running what we run, and chip away at that lead." And they were able to do that. They still have 46 seconds here, even though they have no timeouts. There's still plenty of time on the clock.
3rd down 10, and whistles, and a flag down, dropped at the goal line.
Delay game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So 3rd down coming on the delay of game.
It's interesting right now. It's going to be a big play. You don't have to get the first, but you got to be ready to get on the ball quickly if you don't get it.
Jalen Daniels rifles that one, and touchdown into the end zone. Luke Grimm. The Jayhawks strike again from 21 yards. How about this?
What a comeback. Now, they got to go for 2. Remember earlier in the game, and I hate doing this, they went for 2 at the end of the first half. I think it's always too early to chase points in the first half. They chased the points in the first half. If not, they'd be lining up here for the extra point to send this into overtime right now. They chased the points early, and now they're forced to go for 2 right here to tie the game.
With 41 seconds. Empty backfield. He goes for the end zone. And 2. Arnold with the catch. Kansas comes all the way back in this thing. And they have tied it at 38.
What a performance by Jalen Daniels. Coming out, being relaxed, and Lance Leipold pull him over to the side, say, "Hey, you relax, you're going to be fine, you got it." And boy, did he get it right there after the slow start with the interceptions. Coming back, what a performance. And this Kansas team, you see a team that hasn't been and had a winning season since 2005, it was, when they won the Orange Bowl, to be down that long. And here they are tonight. Lance Leipold with 6 national championships in his pocket.
Take a look at this sequence, starting with a fumble.
Well, it almost got greedy right here, and you don't want to be conservative, but Kansas is out of timeouts. Questionable call. Was he down or not? The call stands. But then Jalen Daniels comes out, fire, and cuts it to 8. Onside kick, great discipline. Stay onside, find a way to make a play. And Jalen Daniels comes back. Watch this, on a line. Zipping it right in front of the DB. Entrapped, little touch ball. Little touch, little two ball over the top.
So 4 plays, 50 yards in 24 seconds.
Just like your practice.
Holy cow.
But I'll tell you what, Lance Leipold has brought a completely different mindset to this Kansas program. When you're down 38 to 13, when you're down there and you're Kansas, you say, we've been in this position before, and we're going to, here we are again. But I'll tell you what, he has just changed the complete mindset of this program that we can win, and these guys have all bought in.
Well, tied up 38-38 with 41 seconds to go. Harper Cole back inside the 10-yard line.
Well, now, you're Arkansas. You have your timeouts left, and you have KJ Jefferson. All you need is a field goal. So I think we're going to see him. We saw him at the end of the first half lead him down the field. Ended up throwing an interception. In a similar situation right here, you're going to put it on your guy and say, KJ, here we go. You just saw Jalen Daniels do it. It's now your turn. Go put on the show. Let's go win it for the Hogs.
Well, Arkansas owned the first half. Kansas has owned the second half. Who will own the last 41 seconds? Razorbacks trying to get within field goal range. Jefferson had a brilliant first half. Has been fairly quiet in the second. On the move here, man, looking to the sideline, and will flip it out.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. We had a
seconds to
receiver
go.
in the area of a pass.
Nothing developing on that play for KJ Jefferson.
You saw in the first play right there, they're going to try to take a shot down the field. Let's see if we can get a big play here early. Still plenty of time. Good decision by KJ Jefferson. Not there. Don't need to force it. We still have 3 timeouts left. Plenty of time. You can work every part of the field.
Cam Little, the kicker, the sophomore from Moore, Oklahoma. And once again, going to keep it on the ground to get it across the 35-yard line on a carry by Dubinion. An 11-yard pickup. And the clock continues to run. And now inside 20. Jefferson short.
I'm surprised we didn't use the timeout after that. Even when the clock stops at first down right there, you're at a point in the game. You don't like to use timeouts after first downs because the clock stops for you in college football. But at that point of the game, when you have 3, you're not going to have enough time to use all 3. So they lost about 7 seconds right there, which could be good. You're looking at about needing 25 yards, so you're in a position where you're going to be comfortable trying the game-winning field goal.
2nd and 8. Jefferson looking downfield, now flushed out of there. Precious seconds as he gets it away, but it's going to be incomplete. He wanted Wilson, his wide receiver. No flags on the play.
No, looked like there was a false start on that play right there, but
5 seconds to go.
Maybe not. Well, interesting right now. Obviously a tough situation. You got to, let's see. It looked like the right tackle got a little jump start right there, but they let it go. Now we'll see what they're going to do here with KJ Jefferson and see if he's got a shot. They might hand this off and just go for overtime. Yep.
And indeed, a flag is dropped in any event as it goes to zeros.
Well, let's see what a defensive penalty. The game cannot end on a defensive penalty.
38-38. What a wild finish here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Not done yet. And a flag dropped back around the 40. And let's see what they come up with here. Not done yet here in regulation.
So it's a defensive penalty. It'll move the ball up. Came from the back judge, though. Do you think they delay a game or illegal substitution? Too many guys on the field.
Yes.
No call yet. No, we've got nothing official.
They've moved it up 5 yards, looks like.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 2 seconds. During the play, illegal substitution, defense, more than 11 players on the field at the time of that penalty's decline. The result of the play, first down, Arkansas. 2 seconds on the clock.
What?
So they put 2
Timeout,
seconds back.
Arkansas.
Well, if
They're first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
And Arkansas.
That was an interesting. They declined the penalty.
They did. Arkansas took a timeout.
Looked like the clock then expired when they, at the end of that play, which would mean the game's over. They'd have to accept the penalty and have one on time down on a defensive penalty. Either way, we're going to get one more shot at it, but they're moving the ball up. I think now you're in range where KJ Jefferson can get the ball into the end zone. Let's see what happens here.
The last play with the clock.
No, there would have been 1 second. There would have been 1 second on the clock.
Yeah, that's a bit generous.
And then the clock would stop, though, because it was a first down. The clock would stop. And Arkansas said, hey, as that clock has stopped now and you're doing the penalty, we're going to take a timeout. 2 or 1 doesn't matter. They got one shot here at the end zone. See, they're going to hand it off again. That's green. See if they can get an explosive
the
play.
50, gets across the 30 to the 20 before he's knocked out. As indeed it goes to
That's
zeros.
The end of regulation play.
So that is the end of regulation in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We have overtime coming your way. Rather incredibly, Kansas, an amazing come from behind to tie it at 38, heading to OT. Well, Kansas with 25 unanswered points to tie this game, shockingly. So it's the first one, the first Liberty Bowl to go to overtime since 2010. Arkansas defeated East Carolina in that one by a final score of 20-17. So the overtime rules, coin toss coming. Each team gets one possession from the opponent's 25 per overtime through the first 2 overtimes. Must go for 2-point conversion after touchdown, starting with the second overtime. Alternating 2-point conversions replace offensive possessions starting with the third.
We're going to play just a little bit more football tonight. The overtime procedures
first.
are just a little bit different, so listen carefully. The winner of the toss will choose either offense, defense, or which end of the field. The loser of the toss will exercise the remaining option. You remain the visiting team. What is your call? Heads. The call is heads. It is tails. Arkansas has won the toss and is elected to start their first overtime series on defense. We will begin the overtime series in the south end zone. Good luck, gentlemen.
So 38-38 right now. Before we get to overtime, let's toss it to Matt Barry in the studio.
Hey, Dave, I've got some fine people from Ole Miss and Texas Tech hitting me up on the Twitter asking where their game is. We've put it on ESPN News for now, the TaxAct Texas Bowl. Texas Tech, Ole Miss on ESPN News. We will move it over here to ESPN at the conclusion of Kansas, Arkansas. But if you're looking for Ole Miss, Texas Tech, go to ESPN News. We'll move it shortly.
Matt, thank you very much. So Arkansas wins the toss. They elect to start on defense.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody's rushing over to that one right now after the unbelievable fourth quarter we've had here. Kansas coming back from 25 points down. Starting here with the ball and overtime, you want to start on defense first because you want to know what the other team does so you can react to it, and it really affects your offensive strategy depending on what the other team does.
So Kansas has it at the 25-yard line of Arkansas. Daniels was spectacular down the stretch with another complete pass inside the 10-yard line to Luke Grimm. He's just been dynamite in the second half.
He's been on fire. And this is the guy we saw early in the season that led Kansas to a 5-0 start. That was just an exciting, dynamic player every time he came down, he came on the field. And it's great to see him. After that injury started, he was slow in the last couple weeks of the season, but this is the guy that they love at Kansas. Great leader, great playmaker. He had total package as a quarterback.
Grimm, by the way, with his 10th catch So he's been the man. First and goal. They hand off Thomas. Looking for a hole on that left side, but denied. And stopped by Hudson Clark. Look back on the grim catch.
And it's great protection. He runs a double move, runs a post corner. You got to give the quarterback time to let him run that double move, runs a post, then rolls it back out to the corner in front of the DB. Great protection up front by the Kansas offensive line.
Second and goal for Kansas. Daniels has been one cool customer leading this comeback from 25 down at one point for the Jayhawks. Can they keep the magic rolling now into overtime? Once again, keeping it on the ground. Kai Thomas with a carry, tied up by McAdoo. Only a 1-yard pickup there.
That defensive line, they've been stout up front. They've held Kansas to 50 yards rushing on the night, a team that averages almost 200 a game rushing a night, and has been really stout, and it's really put the pressure on Jaylen Daniels, and here it is on him again right now, for him to have to make the plays with his arm to win the game for Kansas.
Daniels, the junior quarterback, rim in motion. Keeping it on the ground once again for Thomas. Thomas is denied. He is shut down.
Huge decision here for Lance Leipold. You get the points, put the pressure on Arkansas, force them to have to score a touchdown, changes their way. This is why you want to play defense first. If they don't score here, it changes the strategy. If Arkansas gets the stop when they get the ball. If they do score here, then you know you need a touchdown, and you go automatically into 4-down mode.
Fourth down and goal from the 2-yard line. Lachlan the back. Daniels on the move, tosses for the end zone and got it. Jared Casey. Now Casey, of course, as we've talked about him all night, seems to come up with gigantic plays.
He's never going to have to buy a meal in Lawrence, Kansas the rest of his life right now, is he? I mean, had the game-winning 2-point conversion to beat Texas a year ago. What a great play by Jaylen Daniels. You see his ability to run keeps the play alive. Everybody was covered. He starts scrambling, and when he does, everybody on Arkansas's defense rushes up to stop him. Has the wherewithal, as we've talked about, keeping his eyes downfield, know what's going on. Flicks it to his tight end for the touchdown.
So the point after now for Kansas, they have surged into the lead, and that is good. 44. Make it 45-38. Now what a comeback.
And if you look at this play, look where he starts. You know, they've thrown this quick screen here on some plays. It's a little pump fake, and then he's looking for guys coming across, coming open. Nobody's there as he takes off running. They lose coverage on Casey. They step up. Watch as he takes his run. Here comes everybody reacting to him running. Casey's open in the back of the end zone. Easy flick. And that's the guy you want to go out to dinner with in Lawrence, Kansas, right there. After the huge touchdown, the 2-point conversion over Texas last year for the win, the touchdown in overtime here tonight. What a play.
Came into the game with 3 touchdown passes this season. And so now it's Arkansas's turn here in overtime. First and 10 from the 25-yard line. Jefferson going short, trying to strike right back, and all the way down close to the 5-yard line by Matt Landers for 19 yards.
Quick screen out to him, but he's been their big play guy on the perimeter on the outside all night long.
For an injured
Gets
player.
a great block here by Cole, his receiver. That's a great blocking receiver. The linemen get out in front of him. Good patience, breaks a tackle. Gets it down to a 6. We got an injured Kansas guy, Kalen Gervin on the field. Their corner coming off on the play. As we said, in overtime right now, if you're Arkansas, you have the ball on the 6-yard line, you are automatically in 4-down territory right now. By playing defense first, you know the scenario, you know the situation, and that can affect your play call, where right here, you know you have 4 downs to score.
First and goal on the 6-yard line.
And Coach Pittman's already made the decision. I don't know what it is yet, but he's made the decision. If they do score, To go for 2 in the win on one play or to play another overtime.
Jefferson with another handoff here. Looking for the end zone, diving in, Dubinion. And in for the touchdown. So that did not take long. Arkansas quickly back into the end zone.
They're going to go kick the extra point to go to another overtime. We've seen them do this all night, the reverse zone read. It's a quarterback power, I'm sorry. So what they're doing is they're pulling the backside guard around, and they're going to read that defensive end. If he squeezes down to stop KJ Jefferson, we're running inside, they'll hand it off.
Little on and drills it. The point after. So that ties it again, 45-45. This, by the way, the highest scoring game in Liberty Bowl history.
It's been a special game. You know, if you look at it right here, Arkansas had the chance to seal the game off. They ran a reverse, trying to run out the clock. A fumble gives Kansas a little bit of life. Jaden Daniels comes down. The great pass cuts it to 8. Perfectly executed onside kick. You practice it all year for that moment. Get one more chance. Jalen Daniels rips it in. Cut it down to 2, and then the 2-point conversion. A little bit of touch-up over the top to the back of the end zone. Gets us to overtime. Overtime right here, the scramble up. Great touch. You know, he had the ball tipped earlier, we saw. You saw him get it over the linebacker on this one. But Arkansas responds right back with Dubinion powering it in from 6 yards out. Both teams make the extra point. No college kicker situation here. We head to another second overtime. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, 90 total points tonight. As mentioned, a Liberty Bowl record.
All kinds of records here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of them are tumbling. Individual and team and Liberty Bowl records falling all night long. And, you know, one point you could have forgiven Kansas for saying, you know what, we put up a pretty good fight.
Yep.
Arkansas has too big a lead. You know, even into the fourth quarter, they were down by 25 at one point, 18 in the fourth quarter.
And I think that's where Lance Leipold has made a change in this program. That's a belief. That is a belief that comes from the sidelines. When you haven't had a winning season since 2005 and you're down 18 to a team like Arkansas in the fourth quarter, say, hey, this has been a great season, guys. We put up a good fight. But they found ways to make defensive stops, explosive plays offensively, and put themselves back in. And that's all the mindset of the head coach, willing this team back into the game.
Arkansas the ball first in this overtime. Jefferson gets the pass off short. And down to the 20-yard line, A.J. Green. And remember, if they score, they have to go for 2.
Yep, and that's the new rule in college football, and the reason is just so you don't have the extended super long overtimes right here. In the play where teams are playing 100 and some plays each a game.
2nd and 5. Jefferson off the snap. Moving toward the end zone, and he is in from 20 yards out. And not a flag drop there. So Arkansas scores immediately in for a touchdown. Jefferson using those legs.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
He's such a physical player out there on the field. You see him here, just a design quarterback run all the way. They had a bubble screen with it. Great job pulling up. I think that was, looked like Dalton Wagner pulling up through the hole right here. Right there on the block on the safety. And you get KJ Jefferson onto that second level. He's going to be tough to stop. There's not a lot of people signing up for that duty to try to stop him on the second level.
The defensive end, Lonnie Phelps, the guy nicked up on the play for Kansas. So out he comes. He's a real key man, the sack leader. 7 sacks this year for the Jayhawks. The most for a Kansas player since 2016. And in pain as he comes off. 51-45 with the rule. Arkansas has to go for 2. And an empty backfield.
Now they ran this set earlier, ran KJ Jefferson. Let's see if they run the pop pass off of it to the tight end.
And now Dominion comes as the back alongside Jefferson. Jefferson keeping the football, flips it, and it converts. And complete to Wilson. Great patience on that play.
And it was. They had the fake, and they were going to try to stop, block. It wasn't to the tight end, it was to the receiver. Block, and let him pop off the line of scrimmage. And great patience by KJ Jefferson to make that play work, to buy his time. That's what you've practiced, say, on the two-point conversion all year. So riding it. You see the receiver start to get lost. He looks at receiver one. Great job getting to a second receiver in the progression. Right there to Jaden Wilson and making the throw. Putting the pressure now. Now Kansas has to score and get the 2 point. All Kansas can do is tie with this possession.
But man, have they responded to ridiculous pressure tonight. Neal in the backfield. And Daniels on the move again. Across the 30. And good pressure there by Chris Paul. A 4-yard gain. Into the second overtime, 53-45. Arkansas in a dandy.
Couldn't ask for much more. And in bowl season in here, these fans, a packed Liberty Bowl tonight, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, to get this game. And all of these fans, I tell you what, everybody on Beale State Street trying to get here to the stadium to watch this game. There's more and more excitement here right now.
Well, Daniels has been a magician. Can he do it again? Dropping back. Flag down. Still up. And scampering across the 20-yard line, but there was a flag on the play. Landon Jackson making the stop.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's a big penalty in overtime right there to knock you back, put you into second down in a long situation. But Kansas responded all night every time they've gotten behind the chains here in the fourth, not all night, in the fourth quarter for sure. They're going to have to do it again here in the second overtime.
A hold there by Pooney. Drops him back to the 32. Second down and 17 in the second overtime. Daniels again throwing short over the middle, looking for the big target, Mason Fairchild. And a gain of 10 before Hudson Clark stopped the play.
And that's a good little play call. They just run a stick route to the tight end to get part of it back, because you know you're in 4-down territory right now. That was by Arkansas scoring first. You know you have 4 downs, so you don't have to go rush and take it all back. You have 2 downs. It's really, in a regular game situation, you have 2 downs to get 7 yards right now. So you're in it though. You're calling your best plays at this point of the game.
Well, Daniels has had an absolutely spectacular game. Looking, throwing, and complete. Another big catch. They get inside the 5-yard line as he hits Lawrence Arnold and picks up 18 on that strike.
What a great job of patience. Great job by the offensive line. They had a holding penalty earlier, and here's Jalen Daniels staying back. Jalen Daniels just waiting in the pocket. No holding. Done a great job protecting him all night long. All season long, really, this offensive line. And he patiently keeps his eyes downfield. Finds his receiver for the first down.
So first and goal here for Kansas. Quarterback trying to get in, and he does on his feet in for the touchdown. Well, Daniels can beat you so many ways. He's been amazing in this game.
Great call right there. You know, you've been throwing, and we haven't seen that. That was a direct snap quarterback sweep. Tight end comes down in motion, cracks the end of the line of scrimmage to get Jalen Daniels out in the perimeter. and run it in with the quarterback.
But now the 2-point conversion to tie it again.
And you've used one. You got one, and the team practices it. And here you go. You're going to your second 2-point conversion call now. They had to use one to tie it.
He scampers on the move again.
Nope.
And they stopped him. They stopped him. A flag is down on the play, but he did not get in. Arkansas already celebrating, but we shall see. A flag dropped as Daniels tried to get in.
Call right here.
Yeah. It'll be
call targeting?
Downright fascinating.
Or
could that be targeting?
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 24. That plays under further video review.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if I've ever had a game
come down to this
where the replay official right now is deciding whether the game's over or not.
In overtime.
In double overtime on a targeting call.
On Quincy McAdoo,
who's had a tremendous night. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know. He did lower the helmet.
Ball came loose on this play.
Boy.
Wow. So maybe coming down to a targeting call. Whether Kansas is still alive here. Boy. Again, the ball coming free at the very end of the play. So it is under review. This game has had a little bit of everything and then some.
Well, how about the drama right here of everybody? Now, if it is targeting, it'll move the ball half the distance to the goal, and they're still going to have to run another 2-point play to tie it. So the Kansas side, everybody right now is, as a coach, you kind of like you're thinking, what's going on? All the players, just calm everybody down. You got the Arkansas defense saying, hey, this is what to expect. Let's call the play. I don't care about the call on the field. Don't worry about that. Here's the next play. The Kansas offense sitting here say, hey, the ball's going to be ours. We're going to have it at the 1.5-yard line. Here's the play we're going to run at this point of the game, and everyone getting together. And if the official comes up and say, nope, the game's over, then the game's over.
Look there. Of course, if it's not targeting, game's over.
That's it. And
so what do you think?
I see crown. Yeah, there it is on that angle. You see him lower the head with crown of the helmet, but well, I've seen. Listen, you sit in there, Steve Shaw, the head of officials. It's a great job. They have a test tape, and you have to say, is this targeting, not targeting? This is one of those that's right there on the edge.
Well, just an incredible finish, and it's not over yet. But Kansas coming from 25 points down in the second half to force overtime and then another overtime, and it's not over yet because this is under review whether we have targeting.
And this is the tough one because you want to get this call right, and unfortunately right now by trying to get it right, you're really slowing every aspect of the game down. Both teams are exhausted at this point in the game. You're slowing the game way down, but you know what? I mean, obviously the game hangs in the balance. You want to make sure you get this call right and make the right decision.
So the ruling on the field, all important, was targeting.
And this is one of these right here. Here we go.
And the replay official is David Lambros.
After further review, the ruling of a targeting with the crown of the helmet is confirmed. 15 yards of the penalties, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And targeting can't stand.
Correction, we are going to replay the try.
That needs to be confirmed, and they confirmed it right there. And you can definitely see that of how it went. But now, you see both teams, hey, assume that the penalty happened, and let's get ready for the next play. And they should have done it.
So the game continues. And looking for the two-point conversion to tie. Both of the quarterbacks will be in there, Daniels and Jason Bean, who occasionally lines up as a wide receiver as well. Daniels has been the star, without question, here in the second half for either team. And can he do it again? They need the 2-point conversion or the game is over.
And let's see.
I'm not sure what
the
the
officials are waiting to see where they're going to spot the ball on the 2-point conversion now, because
the penalty is enforced from the end of the run, half the distance to the goal. Number 24 has been disqualified.
So
I think that's going to put the ball over to the right hash is what they're saying. Where Kansas is going to look at a play on the left hash, they're going to put the ball over to the right hash for this play. And that might change here. They just brought Bean out of the field. They might have just changed the call with the ball being on this hash right now, which is interesting because Bean came out of the game.
Yeah, Bean, the backup. So spotted at the 1. Devin Neal, the running back now, along with Daniels.
And Arkansas is going to see what formation they're in.
Timeout.
Take a timeout here.
Arkansas, their only timeout of the extra period.
And you do that to discuss, hey, bring the guys over. Here's what they've shown. These are the plays. These are what we can expect for them to run out of this formation, so the guys know what to look for. The question is, does Kansas now come out in the chess match and go back to a different call right now?
Well, a lot on the line. A winning season for whoever comes away with a W tonight is on the line here in this AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which has been an epic one. Really a stunning third and fourth quarter on a come-from-behind effort by the Jayhawks, who looked dead and gone a couple of times, but not in their minds. And now they're looking for the 2-point conversion in the second overtime to keep it rolling.
Came on the same formation. They kind of like whatever play they have. They got a speed option for the top if they want, and they're a big option team with the blitz. Nope.
Daniels back, throws this one, and they do get in once again. And that's Jared Casey once again. He is the man.
When the game's on the line, get it to Jared Casey.
Without question, yep. 53-53 at the end of the second overtime. Wow. I mean, we've had an onside kick. We've had a targeting call. We've had an amazing come-from-behind effort. And on it goes. And here's a look at the drive.
But I think the big play in it was after the penalty, and to get back in it, to get the ball down close to the goal line. The design quarterback run, which we haven't seen a ton of tonight from Jalen Daniels. And here it goes. He had the play scramble. Great stop by the defense, but the targeting call extends the game one more play. Arkansas came out with the all-out blitz on the final play, and Jared Casey's able to sneak out into the flat, make the catch, and get the ball across the goal line. So now it goes into, everybody's watching the World Cup. It's like penalty shootouts right now. Now we're into 2-point conversions right now. Back and forth to see who wins.
Well, a remarkable game. Once again, the hero tonight, certainly one of them, number 47, Jared Casey. The sophomore, just as he was against Texas with the 2-point conversion in overtime to beat Texas.
And similar, you look at it, scramble, gets it up, makes the catch in the end zone. The party's on. Broke an 18-game Big 12 losing streak for Kansas in that game. A signature win for Lance Leipold, as the players had said earlier, that was a game that really got them to believe in everything that he does. And they certainly believe tonight, trailing by 25, not hanging their heads, not giving up, continue to battle, continue to fight. And here we are going into the third overtime. So now it gets down to your 2-point plays. You kind of have that list as a coach. that you said, okay, we've run this one, we've run that one, and you're going down the list of your plays that you like for two-point plays in these situations.
Yep.
Now it's interesting. On this two-point conversion, the last one we just saw, when they moved the ball from the left hash to the right hash for Kansas, they changed the play. So we'll see when they get the ball, whether they go back to that left hash and go to the original play they were going to run.
So now this begins to feel a lot like a World Cup soccer shootout.
It's the penalty kicks right now, right?
Sure
And
does.
it's going back and forth on two-point plays. So Arkansas go first here.
Tied at 53, third overtime. And now we'll see if KJ Jefferson, who had a magnificent first half, if he can duplicate what Daniels has done. And a timeout.
Kansas is going to take the time just to see. They saw the formation.
Kansas, their first and only of the extra period.
That Arkansas was in. And again, you want to get the defense over. We saw the formation. That's interesting. That's a formation with a three-back kind of diamond look behind the quarterback. A lot of times teams will line up in that and then shift out of it. You have to get a lot of option responsibilities in that of because you're a balanced set. You can run option either way. You can do a bunch of different things out of that set. They want to make sure everybody's on the same page with who has what if they're in that formation for their responsibilities on the defensive side of the ball to get this stop. And we'll see. And it looks like they're going to come out in the same formation. The question is, are they going to stay in there or are they going to shift out to something else? Kansas going to a bare defense right here. Pure man coverage. They got everybody crowding the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
So here's Jefferson in the third overtime. Lofts this one, and he's got it to Binion in the end zone for two. So Arkansas on top 55-53.
And you saw that. What they did is they showed the formation and then shifted out of it. They got Kansas to get into a run-stopping, bare defense formation. Everybody's up in man-to-man coverage. Then you see the two receivers come underneath. A little pick route for Binion around the sidelines. And they get, if you see it, they'll shift out. They get him into a run-stopping, man-to-man defense. Shift out. Now they know they have man-to-man. And they get the matchup they want on the little wheel route down the sidelines. Kansas back with Bean in the game, and here it is.
Looking for that end zone. The throw, and it's incomplete! And Arkansas wins it!
At the end of the game.
55-53 in 3 overtimes. They win the AutoZone Liberty Bowl and the highest scoring Liberty Bowl ever. And what a way to end it.
What a game. What a game. Unbelievable resolve by both teams. For Arkansas being up 25 in the game in hand and losing it. And unbelievable what Lance Leipold's been able to create the culture at Kansas for them to battle back to get this to a third overtime. Heartbreaking that someone would even have to lose this game.
Jason Bean looking for Arnold, but not to be. Let's get on to Taylor.
Thank you, Coach. Where is your heart rate at right now?
I don't know. You know, we did what we had to do at the end of the game, but we should have put it away 3 minutes to go in the game, but unfortunately. Give Kansas a lot of credit. They fought their tails off, but I'll say this. It ain't about who we don't have here, it's who we had. This football team, they said they wanted to play. I know they did. We did too. And we're Liberty Bowl, AutoZone Liberty Bowl champs, and I'm damn proud of our football team.
I saw you point to your interim defensive coordinator and said you have one chance. What were you telling him in that moment?
I said, go after them. I wanted to go after them. You know, we weren't being able to man them up. I wanted to go put some pressure on them. We got lucky there at the end. Hey, we're Liberty Bowl champs. I'm just excited as I can be.
Coach, it's been an up and down season for you. How does a victory impact the way you look back at this season?
Well, 34 people are going to be champions, and we're the Liberty Bowl champions. It's going to help in the offseason, and it's going to help tonight, I can tell you that. So proud of Arkansas, Razorback Nation, and so proud of everybody, and just so happy. I'm just a hell of a game, happy we won.
You're with your wife right here. How well are you celebrating this win?
Well, all of the night, I can promise you. But it's a great win for the program.
Coach, appreciate your time. Guys?
Arkansas securing a winning season, 7-6 in the end, but what a thriller. I mean, if you tuned out of this game like midway through the third, man, did you miss a lot.
I mean, unbelievable game. Records falling, highest scoring Liberty Bowl, most passing yards. Just the resolve of both teams. The excitement of this game coming right down to the wire was unbelievable. One of the great bowl games of the year. And here it is, the final play of the game. The incomplete pass. Jason Bean with the ball in his hands. Chance looking to run it in and just misses it.
What a finish, 55.